Long live liberty. Awesome. Hello.
Good evening, everyone. This is David John Sponheim. He's running for President of the United States of America.
Indeed I am. That was very dramatic, even over dramatic to some people, but it is marking today, which is Truth Tuesday. And I'm going to make a couple camera adjustments to get started here. We start our show about an hour earlier, and we do a lot of things to make everything kind of click in place. One of those things is to get a gaming show going, so we started integrating gaming into our life, and people are calling me a gamer. And I have to shed this label. They're calling me a gamer, and I don't even like gaming. Do I appear like I like gaming that much?
Not really.
No.
I'm a bigger gamer than David, I'd say.
But the truth is, everyone loves gaming in America, and it's a beautiful thing that we have this great country, and gaming has become a great aspect of the globalization process, where we have cheap games to play now, that great equipment like an Xbox 360, which is affordable now. We paid like $100 for ours, and we're all now able to communicate interactively. Wow. Welcome, Americans. We've been doing this for 7 years now, but every day seems like a new experience, and I think gaming has kind of added a nuance to our show, which is different, you know. So I can't say it's a bad thing. It's nice to have this great equipment for, what, $1,500? It's amazing. Prosumer equipment is available to all of us now, and all of us can be your own internet phenoms if we really want to be. So that's kind of a cool thing. We're living at that time when all of us can actually excel in our own way. Yeah, an Xbox 360, not a PlayStation 4. We actually paid only about $100 for 15 games. So we're really within a $200 range. We're doing everything we possibly can to enjoy life. So I'm urging other people to live a more sustainable life. And the truth is, our nation is seeing the pitfalls of a global collapse right now. China is facing 3.2, going on $3.3 trillion in losses in their markets over the past 3 days. And I haven't checked our markets in America yet, but I'm going to talk about that tonight.
So initially we bought one Xbox, and then that one started to fail, and so we bought a second one, but we still have the original.
Okay, so we got some major news to talk about aside from the economy. The short list, Cosby. He's been admitting that he drugged women. And the new thing is Jared from Subway actually has been accused of having child pornography. Lots of stories are kind of evolving here. Hang on just a second. Bring that over that one, make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, so I want to read this. It's going to get harder and harder to find those Cosby reruns. After years of first-person allegations of Bill Cosby drugging and raping women, an old deposition unsealed Monday may finally be a smoking gun. The docs, which the Associated Press fought to get its hands on, are from a 2005 sexual assault case, civil case. In them, Cosby admits to getting drugs with the intent of giving them to young women before sex. Wow. And
that too, Downsy. Politics and current events is what we do here on this channel.
Yeah, and then Jared, remember Jared, the guy who made all that money? I mean, he made like $3 million on that. He had a net worth of $3 million or so. He's now being accused of having some sort of a...
So basically, the thing with the Jared story is that, so Jared started this Jared Foundation to help kids with childhood obesity, and he put this executive like a person in charge of it.
Yeah.
Well, the person in charge of his foundation, I don't know how long ago, but he has been I don't know, convicted. He's been charged for sure with federal childhood pornography charges. That person has been arrested. Now, Jared himself.
Wow. So Jared hasn't been implicated yet, or has he?
The executive director was arrested.
Okay.
His name was Russell Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And and that guy had childhood pornography on his computers. And then Jared's home has been basically searched by the police. They took computers out of the home. They said Jared has been working with the
okay.
authorities.
With the authorities. Okay.
But
so
Subway and he have agreed to suspend relations for now.
Okay. Well, hopefully Jared isn't the culprit here. I would hate to think this young man, because I think everybody's young, considering I'm old. 55 years old, so everybody's young to me. But yeah, hopefully he isn't going down that pathway. Anyway, I want to look at the...
Okay, and then the last story.
The last story.
You can finally take cruises to Cuba. Carnival is going to start offering cruises to Cuba because since we've now opened relations with Cuba.
Oh, so we get to go
Obama
visit the prison camps, the 30,000 person prison camps
Guantanamo
in Cuba?
Bay is only a small part of the islands. So it's more about going to Havana or things of that nature.
Thank you. Thank you, Guest 301. That's very kind of you. So Havana, it's going to be ecotourism, I'm sure, for a lot of people visiting the wonderful nation which we have had lots of problems with in the past. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful nation. I want to commend Cuba for their effort to revive their agricultural industry and also having low-cost health care. We actually have some things to learn from them, ironically, about low-cost health care. So yeah, I'm just not a communist.
Update on what happened in South Carolina.
Yeah.
There was Roof, the guy that was convicted. Well, he's been charged with murder. He's facing more charges today, including some kind of weapons offense and 3 additional attempted murder charges. The attempted murder is on the people that actually survived the attack.
Wow. We'll have to hear eyewitness news. There were 9 people who died, but how many others survived? We want to hear some eyewitness testimony. So we're kind of wanting to bet that for truth. A lot of people are questioning the truth of the Charleston, South Carolina shooting. Many people in the blogosphere that we live on, you and I and all of you viewers, because a lot of you don't watch regular TV, we know that. A lot of you just watch the internet, and a lot of you are hearing about this pastor's body being kind of fake. And he was the only body that was shown to the families. So I really am kind of concerned. As far as Paula Deen is concerned, the woman's kind of a phenom of artificiality. So I really think that's kind of her shtick, is she's into artificial food.
What happened is Paula Deen today tweeted
Paula Deen is under fire for racism again.
Statement.
This time she's cooking up new ways to insult.
Actually, the photo was taken a couple Halloweens ago.
Yeah.
But it's with her son posing in brown face. Basically, she did like a little dress up thing.
Oh, okay.
Where
oh, yeah.
So she did a little dress up thing where she was pretending to be
sitcom,
Lucille
I
Ball
Love Lucy.
and had her
Lucy, you got a lot of explaining to do.
her
Hashtag
son, I think it
Transformation
is,
Tuesday.
was dressed up as Desi Arnaz.
Oh.
And so he had brown face on, and they're saying that that was insensitive of her to post that picture.
You know something? I'm gonna be frank here. If our president is gonna stand there and use the N-word in a podcast, and we'll say that there's a lot more to this racial divide and the damage that's been done. If he's going to go ahead and use the N-word, Paula Deen has every right to be in brown face. There's nothing specifically racist about it. I mean, how else do you impersonate or imitate somebody who you respect? Now, there's a convention every year in May in Palm Springs celebrating Al Jolson, the greatest entertainer of all times. And he represented a time period in our society 40 years of people impersonating black people. Frankly, that's how they got the entire African American entertainment industry rolling. And those people actually went on to carry on their careers as agents. They went on to become agents and move forward. A lot of them were impersonators at the time. Of course I'm not racist. I've never said a racist slur in my life, and I abhor what the president did. He's only fanning the flame of racism in this country by using the N-word. Look at folks, it's outright in their face, and they're willing to just call each other that word. So if they want to lower the bar, I think the American people have to accept the fact that people can impersonate an African American president. Let's face it. I mean, that's our freedom of speech. That defines what this nation is. That defines what this country is all about. Freedom of speech. Thank you. I'm going to get some.
Or they can impersonate Designee Arnaz.
Or they can impersonate Designee Arnaz, yeah.
Which is what her son
Holy rage. We always do a show. Every single event, we did a 4th of July show, we do a Thanksgiving show, we do a Halloween show. I'm sorry for yelling, and I want to ask you, is the mic clipping at this level? It was a Hitler rage? No, that's a, oh, come on. Do I look like Hitler? Do I even resemble Hitler? I mean, no, I'm not a porn star. I've never been in any kind of a naked picture.
Yes, David has done radio at one point.
Okay, we'll drop the radio volume because we were clipping there. Sorry. Okay, is this better? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I wish they would impersonate me as a true American. There you go, Oma. You're not clipping mic level. Okay.
Yes, I think so, Sir Waffles.
We have a standing order to ban anybody who says that I'm anything other than great. Okay?
Exactly.
No, Nick did not win the election in the area. It went to the Republican because the Democrats couldn't get their act together and get behind one candidate, and they chose the guy that couldn't win. I would have easily beaten Dave Hayes had they not stolen 90% of my signs in the local election. So I'm up against a wall here, folks. I mean, I can't even put signs out without 90% of my signs getting taken. And I do not know Donald Trump. Never met him in my life.
I say that for later scissor fight. Well, of course, here I'll show David, so he'll probably stay and whatever.
Well, I'm going to get a cup of coffee. I wanted to start the show with you guys, and Sarah's been doing a good time, good show, and I'm going to let her take over the show for a bit. I'll be right back, and I'm sorry for the anger. When it comes to freedom of speech, I really get passionate. My family, moved here.
90% Gallo.
In the early 1600s, my family moved here to this great nation and founded this nation on the principles of freedom of speech and freedom of religion. And it's extremely disturbing to imagine that we've come so far toward the commie state of democratic socialism. Many of you are kind of slipping into the toilet bowl and you're about ready to get flushed with all those socialists that are still pushing for their agenda on the left. But I know a lot of you are more sensible than that, and you realize that individuality is far more important than some collective run by a 51% mobocracy.
Skipper, that is not FEC qualifications.
I'll repeat that.
Okay. It's only on certain. It is, you have to do it when your signs reach a certain size. And all of David's signs were smaller than that size. Yeah, David's going to get a little coffee and he'll rejoin you shortly. Okay, thank you. I think it'll be a fine show, Senor. Portland just installed water pipes that generate electricity. That's fantastic. Yes, Sir Waffles. I don't think so, Earl. That's true, 2942. I was just talking to David about that today, how, our country's, we have freedom of religion, yet, the people that came over and founded at least Massachusetts, they came here because the religion in England was not strict enough for them. Hi. Oh, I don't know if he wants little notes. You can go give it to him directly. Not what you're thinking of, Ramunda. Maybe that too, 255. Wow. Yes, I liked Roger Williams. He was a very interesting individual. Absolutely, Lord. Humongous. Yes, 298 before I lived with him. No, that was David's sibling. Roger Miller's okay. I mean, I'm more into popular music, like modern music, but he's okay. I don't know what that is. Okay. Yeah, he was very popular, especially with like in the 1920s. So that is very cool. Portland just installed water pipes that generate electricity. Lucid, here, let me bring up a picture. Just a sec. So here's a picture of the water pipes. This is from themindunleashed.org, if you'd like to read more about this. And this was, it looks like it might have been written in February. So this is not new news, but it's interesting news. Lucid Energy is a Portland-based energy company. Has come up with a brilliant idea to harness electricity from the water that flows through the city's pipes. So they're harnessing electricity. Small turbines are installed in the pipes, which send the energy collected from the flowing water into a power generator.
Flow cell technology.
So since this is inside a pipe, no fish or endangered species are impacted.
Right.
And so very exciting things. Nice job, Lucid Energy.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah. Portland-based energy company using water, the power of the heat of water. Yeah, Connie came back from her cruise. She took a wonderful cruise to Alaska. She was really happy, but she noticed one of her biggest concerns were the number of people. I mean, it was a ship full of thousands of people, a couple thousand people on the Holland Cruise Line. So, coffee's brewing, man. Yeah, I'm making some really good hazelnut flavored coffee. I love hazelnut coffee. So this is the technology that they came up with, huh? That's interesting. Simply by turning their water taps on and flushing their toilets, they're generating green energy. Isn't that great? So yeah, we embrace the idea of living within our sustainable world, but in no way am I a person who's going to force this upon the American people. I believe that it's been forced on people long enough, and with the Democrats pushing cap and trade legislation, which I'm against, we've seen so many areas where they can profit from that. And the Democrats don't seem to care about all the illegals coming to our country, making it more difficult to even feed our own people, let alone take care of their health concerns or their education. So unlike the Democrats, and ironically the Republicans, because they've always agreed with the Democrats on immigration, I think we need a real new plan to deal with illegal immigration. And I know it went from dealing with sustainability to immigration, but I did it because I want you to know that we just can't keep growing like they are down in South America at an alarming rate of 30% or 35% in some countries. And water is a huge concern. So the bigger our country gets from illegal immigration, the worse we're going to be able to serve our people the necessary life-saving ingredients to maintain the population. So we do need something on the border, and I suggest bringing our troops home and having them replace the Border Patrol, and having the Border Patrol completely lie detectored so that we don't have any bad Border Patrol agents, because I think a lot of people are getting bribed. And then bring our Border Patrol good agents into the inland cities like Phoenix and El Paso and areas like that, and really deal with the drug cartels that have embedded in these cities. Focus on that and give them the necessary armaments to deal with the drug cartels, because the last thing we want our country to do or be is anything like what's happening in Mexico right now.
Thanks KTULU for watching.
Hey, thanks KTLA. Iwo Jima, I'm going to purge you, but do not support other candidates here. I have been running for president for 7 years and had zero time in the media. Whereas Donald Trump has had ample time to make a fool of himself, Every other candidate's got all free time on the air. I've had no time at all. Zero time. So don't come into the only venue we have on the internet and propose that we should all vote for your guy. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so we're going to be coming up with solutions to America's problems that are out of the box tonight. And one of the best ways we can do that is to start thinking about what really matters. And clearly, what matters to everybody around the world is the earth. And that's something where we come in. We're trying to help the earth. We want to actually build solutions without taxing you. Coming up with ways to save money in our government and cutting waste in order to actually solve environmental problems. And I believe it'll be a big plus for our country because we're going to be able to sell products eventually, made in America. Our two parties have led us astray. They've allowed our corporations and Wall Street executives to dictate the terms, and when those guys are at it, they just want money. They don't even care about product. They just want money.
Let me turn them on, Shadow.
Consequently, we haven't made any products to speak of. Our new production is down. Our growth rate is declining. Our share of the world's GDP has dropped 10% in 10 years. And that's something that only one other nation in the world's history has it's happened with, and that's the Soviet Union. So in a way, we're seeing the collapse of our nation. And if we don't wake up our minds right now and realize that these two parties are not thinking out of the box, we're going to be lost, buried in the endless red tape of bureaucracy and a growing government with a democratic rule, or a growing Wall Street bureaucracy of corruption with the Republicans, who let all these cronies come in and start leeching off our budget. Okay, so tomorrow night is Wasteful Wednesday. We talk about the direct areas where we're going to cut waste to save the nation. But right now we're really talking about the truth, and the truth is the oil and coal lobby is in total control of our future and the global dynamic. And those guys don't care about the environment. They may say they do, but they mostly care about selling oil and coal, not low-cost renewable energy, not cheaper solutions like solar rooftops for you guys. So we clearly have to get the oil and coal lobby away from controlling the very commodities that they control. The Department of Energy does not control oil and coal. They do not, because they see it as a commodity, not a resource, which is absolutely absurd in that our whole economy and the electricity grid relies on it. So for the Department of Energy to not be involved is absurd. We can start with just getting the Department of Energy a little bit more involved and make sure that they are a lean, mean running machine in their own department. Because it is clearly obvious that there's so many people in government that are just sucking money off of their job and aren't doing a good job. So we've got to get everybody to start acting within the confines of our budget.
So 5411, to get David on the ballot in your state, you'll probably need to collect a certain number of signatures. If you go to americansthird this name of your state, no spaces, and you can find out my most recent research. You can also do your own by contacting the Secretary of State directly.
Okay, the Coast Guard can replace, the Coast Guards can actually replace the TSA. Sorry for cap lock. So we can actually put the Coast Guard at all our points of entry, and plainclothes men and women who work at the Coast Guard could actually do a great job. Whereas the TSA could be phased out, it would save our country the unbelievable radiation levels of the rapid scanner devices, which we wouldn't use anymore for people. We would use it for luggage. No, Connie likes Sarah. Sarah likes Connie. We're all, you know, when we visit, everyone's good. Yeah, the TSA is a total waste of money. We spend $7 billion a year on that. Anybody who says derogatory things to me doesn't understand what they're dealing with. Not only will I ban you, but I'll etch you in my memory.
Yes, and I emailed the person to put our name on that list.
The TSA has numerous class action lawsuits against them for purposely putting their hands down people's pants and bras and under skirts. if Donald Trump was going to pick an enemy, he should have picked an enemy with the TSA. I mean, not the Mexican government and the Mexican people. I don't understand how he could be so flippant as to say that Mexicans are murderers and rapists. I mean, it's crazy to go to that level. When you got to understand, we have a trading partner down there. We don't need a reckless person who's loudmouthed and is going to attack people. But yeah, it's pretty serious when a person gets their body parts rousted when they're at the airport. There's just no excuse for that.
Or what are David's thoughts on the Trans-Pacific Pipeline?
I am actually the Trans-Pacific Pipeline. You mean Trans-Pacific Partnership?
Partnership.
Thank you. I'm against the Trans-Pacific Partnership. You mean the Keystone Pipeline?
Yes, I probably did mean that.
I would be glad to run this country. Number one, I would stop the false flag operations. I'd stop the lies. I mean, here's George Bush, what he said: if the American people ever find out what we've done, they will chase us down the streets and lynch us. We've got a lot of history here of people who have lied to the American people and gotten away with it. The news about Bill Cosby is just the tip of the iceberg. I think it's a reveal that is long in coming, and I think that the power of people who have that kind of money is dangerous, scary. Now, a lot of you are concerned about this lie, this big lie that came out about a year ago, this emergence of an ISIS takeover of our country.
Or of the Middle East.
No, they're actually saying ISIS is in our country now. That's what the news was about 6 months ago. They were saying that ISIS had already penetrated our border and was inside, and now they're saying they're working the social networks. All of this is a big, huge concern for ISIS, and many people are falling into that category and believing that somehow, we've got a serious problem. I don't think that was funny. But I do believe we have a situation where ISIS was formed within our nation. But it wasn't from the people. It was our government. They orchestrated the creation of a terrorist group because they got tired of not having a decent terrorist group anymore, because Al-Qaeda kind of faded away after they gave all that support to Al-Qaeda when they fought Muammar Gaddafi in Libya and gave them all those rockets. And then they turned Al-Qaeda into a rebel force up in Syria. So they needed to create a new terror group. So they came up with ISIS. That's the truth.
Why are you here watching David and not campaigning for him and getting more of your friends to come in and watch him?
The FBI and the DEA and the U.S. Army have bought software that take over your computer remotely. Wow. Oh my God. They're going to take over our computer remotely. This is crazy. So I don't think we have to worry as much about ISIS as a lot of people are concerned about it. We should always be vigilant against terrorism. Don't get me wrong. But I really believe that once we realize that they were actually mercenaries trained in Jordanian CIA-led training camps, I mean, yes, they're a dangerous force and they're bad guys. They've been paid a lot of money to do this. But honestly, the origin of the entire group points right back to the United States CIA. Are you not banned freedom of speech? No, nobody banned you.
I probably did.
But anyone who denigrates the show will be banned.
So I think you can go start your own show. So bye now.
No, it's okay. It's really, I mean, let these people hang.
And
I mean,
I'll leave.
Yeah, Sarah's going to check out. I need a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
So do I.
Won't take me
I
but a
need a
second.
cup of coffee as well. Except I don't drink coffee. No, before he went to make the coffee. Like brew the coffee. So he just was brewing the coffee, so now he has to pour a cup. I did have iced hazelnut coffee when I used to drink it, but I don't drink coffee anymore. Thank you for your opinion, Insect Face. No, I will not be doing that, 3801. I have just a crystal, and I think this is purple. I think it might be amethyst.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, I'll take over for a while. Thanks so much.
That sounds good, Mr. Bill. Have fun.
Take care.
Me
Take care.
too.
Enjoy. Have fun. Well, if you want to,
Yes,
yes.
you can.
Yes. Are you a U.S. citizen? We have a donation
As
page.
long as you're a U.S. citizen.
We have a donation page for you at americasthirdparty.com/donate. Yeah, and there's a Bitcoin purse on there, or wallet. They call it a wallet.
It's a program called BitPay.
BitPay. Okay, thank you. All right, so I will take over the show and talk about truth, and you guys will come up with ideas that you think may be true or not true. Okay? Take care.
Okay.
Be well. I think the big problem was we didn't play Mr. Rogers today. That always changes the dynamic here. You know? I know. Let's not forget Turkey and their role in this. Well, Turkey and their desire to join NATO and their allies has been a long-standing role. And many people are saying, Mr. Bill, that there's someone out there, namely Zbigniew Brzezinski, who has been orchestrating a plan for us to take over Syria. That's also the truth. This is a plan that continues to push through the Republican and Democratic Party because Zbigniew Brzezinski had 3 kids, and they're high-level operatives within the Republican and Democratic Party. The truth about Benghazi and Hillary's involvement is very complicated. Very complicated. The fact we don't have any emails is your telltale sign that she's hiding something. But from the information we have, the day after Benghazi happened and Chris Stevens died, thank you. Oh, Vika, hello, Vika. Welcome to our show. Thanks, Mad Dog, for referring her to us. But the day after Chris Stevens died, our Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton at the time, she completely removed the MEK, a known terrorist group, from the known watch list. Why would she do that the day after Chris Stevens died? There's no reason to even imagine why, unless it was payback for something they had done. Very suspicious. Why would I need hair transplants? My hair is great. What are you talking about? I've got a great head of hair. Everyone says I would need hair transplants. I'm doing great. Yeah, it's like it's called the disheveled look. Yeah. I'm a good ginger. You're a handsome devil. Thank you, Iwo Jima. He never referred her. He wanted you to welcome a new viewer like we did. Oh, thank you. Well, welcome a new viewer. Hi. Well, welcome new viewer, Vika. David, show the quote from Hillary from the video last night. Well, that quote was a real humdinger. It really was. Yeah, you pulled up a good link there. I'll bring that up in just a bit. Here's the NSA may have a backdoor to your computer that they can actually take over your
Russian
computer.
security software company Kaspersky Lab exposes U.S. cyber espionage program. Moscow-based Kaspersky Lab claims that a cyber espionage group, which analysts said was connected with the NSA, has installed a backdoor on many personal computers.
Okay, Larry, go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, I was going to say, did you see the interview with Hillary today? What a joke. Absolute joke. Travesty. You know,
Tell me about it.
Interviewed her. Did you see the girl that interviewed her? She went to one of their, she was at the wedding of one of Hillary's friends. They had a picture of her age. She's at one of the weddings of Hillary's friends to go and interview her.
Wow.
There's softball questions, no follow-up. It's absolute travesty, man.
It is, yeah.
Chances are this freaking woman is going to be the next president of the United States.
It's bad. We're looking at, they want Hillary so bad that they're willing to just ignore any questions about Benghazi, push any issues that might be a hot issue like Bill Clinton's Orgy Island involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, push all those to the side, never even mention them to her. Don't talk about the fact the Clinton initiative is under racketeering and RICO Act investigations and charges and indictments. Let's just talk about what a great thing she's going to do for the country. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. And the Democrats did not question Barack Obama at all during the past 7, going on 8 years. So now we have a void out there, no discussion, no real issues. Heck, Obama and Hillary Clinton haven't even talked about the homeless, and they're supposed to be pulling the line for the social liberals? I mean, what a joke. Let alone the environment. Oh my God. They won't mention Fukushima. They won't mention the Gulf of Oil disaster. We call the Gulf of Oil, it's the Gulf of Mexico, but they won't talk about the dangers of Monsanto and GMOs. I mean, Hillary endorses GMOs. I'm telling you, Larry, it's crazy, man. All right, so who was the interviewer and what channel was it on? Or what channel did you watch it on?
It was on, CNN. The interview was on
CNN, okay.
Fox and all these other stations have been showing it.
Okay. All right, yeah, let's take another caller, and if you want to hang on, feel free. Go ahead.
Call from
Robert.
Okay.
add this caller to your current call, press 5. Up to press 1. This caller to your current call.
Okay, Robert, what's up? Okay.
Hey, night, Dave.
Yeah, turn your TV or your monitor down in the back.
Yeah, I just did. I just turned
Thanks.
it down. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Did you see the Clintons used the ropes on the press in '92? Did you see that?
What do? They use the ropes? What are you talking about?
Yeah, on the press in '92. They're just always in the news about something sneaky.
Yeah.
And what do you think about this whole Donald Trump thing? Did you see that?
Which one? I mean, there's a story of spinning out of control. Which one is it? He's a wrecking crew.
The one where he gave it to Sarah in the asshole, right in the asshole, right down Sarah's.
Robert, how can anyone call that a call? I mean, you see what we're putting up with? You see the environment we're in? This is insane. This is the level of concern these people have for society. Consider it, if you will, one insane troller calling, constantly talking about sex because he himself doesn't have sex. Unable to perform sexually, he becomes completely focused on calling people on the phone, trying to somehow get an erection. Go ahead. Insert the Twilight Zone. I know. I mean, this has got to be the weirdest. Is this the start of a show or is this the start of a nightmare? I mean, have some heart, folks. Don't you care? Or are you in the Twilight Zone? You're traveling through both time and space, both things and ideas. You've just crossed over into a wondrous land, about that of the imagination and that of endless trolls. You've just crossed over into America's third-party zone. Go ahead, Jarrett. What's your question?
Yeah, it's Gary. Dave, did you see that Bill Clinton finally admitted that he drugged the women?
It wasn't Bill Clinton. It was Bill Cosby. It was Bill Cosby that admitted that. Are you drinking fluoride right now? Are you drinking fluoridated soda?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am. What did I say? I'm sorry.
You said Bill Clinton, but it could have been him at Orgy Island. You're right.
Yeah, it definitely is. But definitely, Bill Cosby was definitely a good actor.
What does that have to do with anything? I mean, come on. I mean, we're talking about a guy who drugs women to get sex. I mean, who cares if he was a good actor, you know?
Well, it's like I told you, Dave. In the end, they're all niggers.
See what I mean, Robert? That's what happens, Larry, when you do somebody in the you-know-what. I never had sexual relations with anyone. Not even my wife, Hillary. You know that there's ample evidence, this is the truth, that Chelsea is not Hillary's and Bill's daughter. Hillary's yes, but Bill's no. Chelsea is Hubble's daughter. Yeah. Chelsea Clinton is the biological daughter of Webb Hubble. It's out. I might as well just be the first to release it. That's right. The Clintons' greatest shame, everybody. Let me show you the link. The Bill and Hillary, the history of violating people. Yeah, if you want to find out more about the Bill and Hillary couple that protects their behavior, Hillary covers for Bill everywhere, including Orgy Island. Anytime it doesn't want to reach the news, Hillary makes a phone call and says, you know, what she says. At this point, what difference does it make? Fix your mic. What's wrong with my mic? It's punched. It's blowing speakers. Mic sounds like crap. Wow. Too much gain? You're distorting? Mic is bad? All right. I don't know how many times I got to do this, but oh well. Let's try it. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. How's this? Good. How are you? Testing 1 2 3. Still bad? Really? No kidding. We have a bad mic. I think it's safe to say it's a bad mic. Do I look like I'm able to accept a phone call right now? It's better? You can't hear me? Dave, it's perfect. Sound is good. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the sound. Always was perfect. They're just messing with me. Hey, go ahead. What's your question?
This question is for Sarah.
Sarah's not in right now. I'm sorry. Can I take a message?
We can say the Kenny.
I'm sorry, what?
What? Can we say the Kenny on the stream?
I can't understand what you're saying. Do you have a speech impediment?
No. Bikini. Bikini.
Learn. Use your words, okay? Use your words. All right. All right, here, take a look at the resemblance between Chelsea Clinton and Webb Hubble. I mean, you got to admit, he looks a lot more like her than Bill. You know? So yeah, check that link out if you really want to get impressed. Dave, are you a fan of who? I don't follow people that sound like lubricants near your special private parts. So that's improper of me to comment on that. Well, I'm not talking about their beauty. He looks like Bill Clinton to you? Wow. You got some visual comparison issues going on. Same eyes, same lips, same everything. Thank you. Well, we're sure that there's something wrong here. All right, thank you very much for taking a look at that truth. Now, let's move on to the next one. Hillary is actually the mother, yeah. Okay, Eric, you got a call from Eric. Eric, what's your question? Hi, Eric.
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
Well, I'm not talking about doppelgangers today. I'm talking about truth. The truth that Chelsea is Webb Hubble's daughter. Now, go ahead. What's your question tonight?
I just have a comment. I've been calling in frequently every night saying nigger.
Oh, no. Don't ever do that again, please. We don't really like the N-word here. I've never personally said a racial slur in my life. I show absolute utmost respect for all races, and I've done everything I can to maintain that high level, high standard of integration I'm seeking with other people of other races. People who've accused me of... What are you laughing at? Is Vika laughing too? Vika, come on. You come into the show and you start laughing at me. Well, the truth is, folks, because I didn't get any mainstream media attention for the past 7 years, in 2008, I put the wheel in motion to actually get some coverage. So I created a character named Broke Insane Obamas. This is the character I'm referring to here. And we ran this video for a while, and then we pulled it. And then we ran it again in 2010 because our supporters wanted me to pull it, or put it out there, sorry. And then Google told me to pull it because somebody complained about it. So I didn't, want to offend anybody, so I pulled it off because in deference to people of African American status, I didn't want them to think that just by merely impersonating the president, I was committing a racist act. Yeah, a lot of supporters, unlike you, because you're a Nazi. You don't have any supporters. What's your opinion of NATO's attack on Iraqi armed forces conspiring with ISIS? Again, NATO is going to be doing whatever they can to prevent the collateral damage of a failed policy in Iraq. So they're going to continue to raise the opposition. I'm certainly okay with the fact that we're trying to stop ISIS since it's formed, but I'm still of the belief that it was formed by our country. You can argue with that all you want. I don't believe a lot of the beheading videos. But back to the blackface video. This started migrating around the world, and even though the hit counter stayed at 5,000 on both blackface videos that were out, people have a hit counter on there that are locked. This video has now gone viral. Somebody did a complete copy of the 3-minute video and made a disco tape out of it, a DVD, and actually it's a Blu-ray they made of it. And I didn't have anything to do with that. It's just somebody copied. Before I pulled it off, somebody copied it and put it out there. It's now gone international. So people from around the world are watching it. And I put this wheel in motion 7 years ago, knowing full well that I would be censored by the mainstream media. Censored. It's not going to go viral. It will never go viral because the mainstream media is censoring Google. Let me explain. Google didn't just happen to be a company predicated on all kinds of lots of stock sales. Google was a company formed by the NSA because they knew they had to get ahead of the ball, essentially. Now, the people that created Google, granted, they were guys in Stanford working out of their garage, but they got co-opted by DARPA through In-Q-Tel, who bought the entire Google framework and own it. You don't think they got $500 billion in investment capital because they're really doing great work and helping with the product line. They don't have any decent products except maybe Google, whatever, Chromecast. What is that, $35 Chromecast? I mean, how are they making any money on it, seriously? Look at the big picture. They got bought off, and when they got bought off, they could get controlled, completely controlled, and the hit counter on YouTube is easily fixable. I mean, come on. Anybody can fix a hit counter. Go ahead. All right, I'm getting rid of this mic. This mic is history. History. Bring on mic number 2. I am so tired of this mic. Yeah, it's just blowing my mind. Blowing it. Big time. Okay, let's try this one. Yeah, that's what happens. It's like a 7-year-old mic. That's how long it lasts, you know? Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. Go ahead. Hi.
Hey, it's Eric. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Eric, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I just wanted to tell you off the record, man. I appreciate your show. I'm not trying to troll you or anything.
Mike sounds good.
Keep on. Keep on.
All right.
And you know how to deal with the fucking trolls. But I got to tell you, I respect you and your platform.
Spit it out, man. Spit it out. What do you got? What's your concern?
Trump is going to Trump all the way, bro.
What's that?
And
Trump all the way? All right. Goodbye. Wow. Let me take you on an infinite journey into the known universe, where things are not what you think they are. We're trying to build a third party here. We don't need mindless idiots who stand around and suck up to corporate pigs. The last thing we need is some corporate executive who's declared bankruptcy 4 times and screwed people out of money to take the reins of this great nation. My God. The Illuminati are clearly an evil group of people working through arcane and secretive means to control the destiny of not only our nation, but the entire world. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Vika. Yeah, Trump is not the guy. He's completely lost. He's right now living in a world tangled by his own generalizations and irreverent speak. He's spinning stories that just aren't true. All Mexicans are not murderers or rapists or drug addicts. They're trying to escape a very bad life in Mexico, okay, or wherever, whatever country they came from. Does that mean we're going to allow them in like Obama's done and the Democrats want to do? Hell no. Let's tighten up the border and let's make sense of our immigration policy and let's simplify these things. We cannot possibly succeed as a nation if we live with some sense of white guilt that we've got to open our doors to everybody. Am I on? Is video on? There's no theory here. The fact is we just have to close down and trim the border quite a bit. We can't make this happen over a long period of time. Seriously. Can't happen in a short period of time either. See if we can loop that. The video's on. We're going to ban anybody who continues to come into our show and try to denigrate our show. I don't do steroids. Do I look like I'm bulking out a little bit? I'm getting pretty big. It's from all that working out. You having a good trip? I hope none of you dropped acid before you watched the show. I've never done that. Okay, Gary, what's up? Yeah, what's your question?
I wanted to know, what are your feelings on abortion and also illegal immigration?
Okay. I feel that a woman shouldn't have an abortion. I feel that. But I know that she has the choice and the right granted to her by the interpretation of the Constitution based on Roe v. Wade to make that choice herself. So, the audio is good? Good. Excellent. So I have a better mic? Good. I also believe that immigration is ripping into our country. Now, regarding abortion, back to abortion, I support a first trimester law. And nobody in American politics is actually supporting this besides me. I'm the only one.
What about the Americans giving the immigrants the jobs?
Well, the fact is Americans are hiring illegal immigrants all the time to clean their house, to do their laundry, to do their lawns. I mean, the number of people hiring illegal immigrants needs to stop. So if we prosecute people, we can prosecute. We got people on the laws on the books to prosecute anybody who hires an illegal alien. But without deporting people. I mean, I don't want people to live in fear of deportation. Like Mitt Romney said that they should self-deport. I mean, hello, people aren't going to self-deport. But at the same time, I don't want to have an open door. So we came up with this thing called fast-track naturalization, where people can go to their home country and actually become a citizen at the U.S. Embassy. But they'd have to pay a fine or a fee. They do hire illegals. That's why Republicans want illegals into the country to exploit cheap labor. That's why Democrats want them in so they'd vote for them. Okay, seems like terrorists the world over rarely attack the right people. I guess what with 9/11 they at least attacked money, but that was still if you're. Let me ask you a question, ignorance. Do you believe for a second that 9/11 was perpetrated by solely terrorists? Or do you think there's someone who knew that it was going to happen and prepared for it to happen here in America? You do? Willie believes there's somebody, it was solely just 17 terrorists, Willie, that came in and did it? A lot of you buy that theory. Well, this is Truth Tuesday, so if I showed you a picture of the World Trade Center attack, or better yet, let me show you a picture of the Pentagon getting attacked by what appears to be a missile. A white streak, what is this? It's clearly a missile. You can see the tip of a missile right there. So why are they telling us that it was a 737 that hit that plane at that time? That's not the tip of a 737. There's no way. And by the way, these are the only photographs that the government revealed. Ironically. So that's all we got. There were 83 camera angles. We only got 15 frames from one angle. Yeah, that was great music. It was a special missile, David. Yeah. You can't see the cockpit in that picture, no. Well, the Pentagon has over 200 cameras, but they definitely had 83 camera angles that were available. But why only release 15 frames from one? Doesn't that reek of a cover-up to you? And where's the wreckage analysis report? Yeah. I mean, see, American people have been led down the belief that, oh, there's 17 terrorists that the 9/11 Commission report said did it. They're all bad guys. And they're all... The only one that we could ever get was Osama bin Laden and a couple other guys. Okay, thoughts on another bailout if it happens? Well, no average American wants a bailout for corporations. Bear in mind, for the past 6 years, or actually 7 years now, our government has not given a penny out to the American people, other than unemployment insurance, welfare, food stamps, etc., Social Security, but that's money they deserve. So, because of that, they don't want a bailout for rich corporations. I don't blame them. We've already done that round. We need to start really looking at the paradigm of a new party, a third party. That's the only way we're going to make this happen. It's gotten out of hand, I know. And Rambling Cowboy says, isn't the whole government a cover-up since World War I? You know, Rambling Cowboy, I'm sure we could sit down and have a beer together and share the same theories. It's true. Sunstar says, David, did you see the grade school in Long Beach, California? The school's name is called Robert E. Lee, and a parent is a Mexican bitching about a name change. Wow. Willie, how are you? Willie? Willie? Hello? Willie? I tried to accept the call. No, I cannot do an interview with Glenn's Room simply because he lied to me. He did a phone conversation with me without telling me he recorded it, and then he recorded it. And I'm very upset about that. I don't like to be lied to. I don't think you need to do that to the Confederate flag. I mean, if you want to have sex, do it with any kind of a flag that doesn't show Okay, go ahead. Willie.
Hey, Dave. Hey, I like a lot of your ideas and stuff. Been watching you for a while, been calling in for a while. My only concern is, I like your home ownership, what's going to do, buy a home and all that kind of stuff. But how do you expect get anything passed in Congress? I mean, honestly, how can you get anything passed in Congress when these guys, you're going to be the outsider and, you're going to be the third-party president?
Yeah.
These guys are going to stop you every step of the way. They don't let you do anything.
They won't, yeah, I know. And that's why I constructed all the plans that I have don't require congressional approval, Willie. I already thought of that. We need their support to pass a flat tax. There's no way around it. To do tax reform, we need Congress. But our Homestead Renewal Plan works right within the confines of HUD. It's called the HOME program, and it's already been apportioned. They just haven't worked with it. Obama never even used it. He never even really heavily funded it. So the HOME program will be immediate as soon as I hit the ground running in 2017. And that's the Homestead Renewal Plan, where we're going to fix up old houses and buy them up and improve neighborhoods rather rapidly and start flipping those houses to get the government some money back, so that we don't have to pay out of your taxes to pay for people, with shovel-ready jobs. We'll be able to do it right away. We'll use existing HUD funds for that. There's $4 billion initially apportioned for the Homestead Renewal Plan. I don't need Congress to do that. We can put together executive orders that will implement programs like an infrastructure bank, offering 2% loans to U.S. businesses hiring U.S. citizens at a living wage of $15 an hour. If Congress likes it, we'll get some money behind it. We'll build the infrastructure bank into our government For the time being, I'll run it out of the executive branch. Second of all, we've got a plan to actually build a mobile medical unit, which in every city in America, a total net cost of $1 billion to produce these, 200 units, $5 million apiece. Put them in 200 cities and have them rotate around, providing immediate healthcare to people of low income to alleviate the stress on our healthcare system. An immediate bypass. I can do that through the VA system. The mobile medical VA system doesn't require Congress. Now, if they like it and they say, wow, this is looking good, David, you're clearly on the right track to saving a lot of money downstream, we'll get behind you. If they don't, I'm going to continue to push my program and make it work and make it run more efficiently to show that not only will it work, but it'll get a return on investment. Then they're going to start turning their heads going, well, who is this person? I mean, obviously the American people are going to say no to the two parties pretty damn soon. Do not come in here and promote another candidate. I told you that. It's a bannable offense. Thank you. I'm going to give you a warning. But I worked very hard to do the blogosphere and to get this show going for 7 years now. You come in here promoting somebody who's already had free time on the internet or free time on the mainstream media, free time on major network television. I mean, hello. Thank you.
Yes, this is a live show right now.
Hydrogen is going to be cheap. Hang on, Willie. Hydrogen is going to be cheap.
Telephone. To add this caller to your current call, press 5. To accept,
Flash.
press 1.
Yeah, Judd, you got to get a better sound. I can't even hear you, man. Who are they promoting?
Does it matter? No.
It doesn't
matter. The person that we're promoting is David John Sponheim.
Okay, so I'm going to put my banner on the screen so all of you can know who I am. And my thoughts on CERN are that CERN is dangerous. And I believe that the Airbus that crashed into the Alps recently crashed because of CERN. And the truth of the matter is, and you can take this to the bank, the truth is, there has never been a confirmation that the pilot was locked out of the cockpit. No audio confirmation on the internet. I challenge any of you to find that right now. Audio confirmation of the cockpit being locked out to pilot. All right, we'll take a chance on Jim. Go ahead, Jim. What's your question?
Hey, Dave. What do you think about fusion?
Vegan? Fusion. It's a very good potential energy form. I believe that cold fusion technology could have had some great promise, but Clinton shut it down. But I believe that fusion technology at a low level will be very interesting. The higher the energy levels, the more dangerous it becomes.
What about coal?
Coal is very important.
Obama really killed coal.
He did. Basically, coal...
My uncle worked for the coal company that got put out of business in Kentucky.
Oh my God, really? Well, there's 770,000 coal workers, and your uncle is one of them, and they're being put out left and right. Obama passed last Christmas 3,500 executive orders against the coal industry. People didn't realize what was happening, but it was really bad, and now it's starting to affect everybody. Last year we had a really bad situation with electricity. Everybody paid way more money on their electricity than ever before. Last year was the worst ever. So they're going to be paying even more coming up because of what Barack Obama just put in place. I will support the coal industry and guide our nation toward clean coal technology. Hang on, I want to get this. There we go. I will guide our nation toward clean coal technology, and I will not punish the coal industry. I will work with them to innovate the coal industry. No, we're not upset. We just...
Because my uncle worked very hard, and there's a lot of coal, and it does a lot of good, and Obama just came along and shut it all down, Dave.
I know.
They're very sad, and a lot of people really depended on that work.
I bet, yeah.
In Kentucky, I mean,
I hear you.
It's very sad.
Okay, thanks for your call. Okay, I got to answer a question here. What's your view on science and science funding? Well, it's kind of a waste of funding right now, considering we don't have the money to throw into Richard Branson's hands. If we come up with a way to fund science where we get a return on investment, great. But right now, 45% of all the research and development dollars that go into the pharmaceutical industry for research and development come from you, the taxpayer. So I want to make sure that there's a solution. So I'm introducing an Andromeda group that'll be working 24/7 at the National Institute of Health to solve the cure for cancer, to solve the key diseases affecting mankind. And I don't mean creating vaccines. I mean solving the diseases using modern day RNA genetics lab technology. Go ahead, Shrek.
Hey, I want to fuck your wife.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just
Hand me the phone.
take good calls from people who are serious. They're funding drugs, not cures. Exactly. Good point, Gotta Race. Okay, objecting to a flag being banned, which is less discriminating than so many other flags, is easy to do. The Confederate flag banning is a cheap tactic that doesn't wash. Why doesn't Obama ban the North Korean flag? Banning the Confederacy is not hard to do since it's obsolete. The ultimate way and easiest way of showing how much you believe in freedom is ironically to hang a Confederate flag outside your house. Very good point. No, clean coal is worth the effort because frankly, we're already funding that, believe it or not. The Future Gen project has received $1 billion a year under Obama and $2 billion a year under George Bush. So as president, I will get the Future Gen project to be accountable, and we will get the best solutions they've come up with to coal carbon loop technology, looping coal, and we'll apply it directly to the industry. We won't penalize the industry. Thank you so much. We need innovation, not a monopoly game of kickbacks and funding. That's what the Democrats, Republicans are pushing. Like the green energy tax credits Republicans got passed, that was just an opportunity for big, huge investors like T. Boone Pickens to make tons of monies on these windmills, which ironically won't pay for themselves in 30 years. So these windmills are ridiculous. We'll still be running these windmills until they'll never pay for themselves. It's absurd. Mark Zuckerberg is building a fortress at his home because he probably, like many other wealthy people, realized that the economy is toppling, and many people will blame people like him that sucked off the financial tit of the government. You know, when the government backed a lot of those, the Facebook LPO was insane. It was a disaster. It's still got court cases pending on that when people were told it was worth 45 a share and it dropped to 26 the same day because Morgan Stanley said, oh, we weren't accurate about how much revenue mobile phones would make. So all these people lost tons of money on the limited public offering. I don't own Bitcoin, no, but we do receive them as donations that strictly go into a separate account. Well, really, what would you repeal if anything? Well, number one, we want to nullify Obamacare everywhere we can. Stop it in its tracks because it has been a dang failure for this country. And now, with the recent Supreme Court ruling, it makes it even worse because now the U.S. taxpayer is going to have to pay for all the poor people to have insurance plans. I mean, what about a direct care system like our mobile medical unit? What about getting mobile medical units in the streets of America as opposed to insurance companies making 30% more profit? That's what the Democrats and Republicans are pushing. So yeah, we'll nullify it. Thank you. Silver just dropped under $15. Basically,
Nice.
It's reeling from the world market and the effect in China of the $3.2 trillion loss in their market and what's happening in Greece. So you'd think that silver and gold would be a safe haven, but what's happened probably is the big banks are buying up tons of paper silver, which is keeping the volume up and the price down. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, Facebook is directly connected to Google and NSA co-opted, Drud. In order for the LPO to go forward, part of the actual paperwork required that Google purchase $100 million in Facebook advertising every year. Pretty good deal, huh? Guaranteed $100 million in advertising from Google. Does that sound like a cush deal or what? And then when Mark Zuckerberg paid $19 billion for WhatsApp and hasn't even developed the program, you know something's fishy. It's shady as hell. Yeah, shady as hell. And I must tell all of you that when I'm president, I will work toward getting, basically bringing the original idea of socially owned networks back online. The idea of socializing or getting rid of the monopoly we know as Google is the only area that I would consider the government getting involved. Because if they're going to pay people $350,000 a year in salaries, you know that you can pay 10 people $35,000 a year for that price, and they could all work from home. I mean, it's absurd. Yes, I am a legitimate candidate. I was one of the first to get in the running in 2012, right after the election. So I began this campaign as a write-in candidate. I've been running in 3 elections now. This is my 3rd election.
Probably when the judgments stop, then hatred will stop.
You know, haters are going to hate, you know. People don't understand a lot of the ideas that we're talking about because they're so simple. It goes over the head of college professors when I talk about getting a return on investment for the government and having the government compete in the private sector. They don't get it. It's not socialism. Only when the government has extra advantage is it socialism. Only when the government finances the operation off the back of the taxpayer is it socialism. We're going to fund a lot of our operations in America off of a simple plan to actually get renewable energy savings bonds sold to investors. So we don't want to in any way suck off the government. We want to actually focus on cutting waste. It's really important. Waste reduction. Actually, no, the government doesn't intrinsically have an unfair advantage. When I create generic food products through our EBT program and our farm subsidy program, which is the USDA, which I will do, that's another thing I'm going to be doing without the approval of Congress because they don't need to approve. As president, I'm in charge of those 2 organizations, and I'll be able to actually make those 2 agencies work together. Farmers who don't grow food will actually be told to grow food if they want to receive their subsidy. And when they grow their food, all their production goes into a generic processing plant, and they'll charge a small amount for that, but they'll process the food and then we'll sell it in stores to people on the EBT program. I was 25 years I took care of my parents. Well, if you don't understand how important it is to take care of your parents, you won't really understand the importance of family. Thank you for telling me that. Family is essential. Many people are starting to farm their parents off to nursing homes, and frankly, this economy is probably not going to be able to hold that up. I was 25 years a dutiful son to taking care of my mom and dad, and did everything I could for them to keep them, you know, in luxury. And when they passed on, they didn't live in a nursing home, which I'm really glad that they didn't. You know, it's really important to kind of care for your family as far as you can. It's a much better value for you to deal with your family at home than to farm them out to a nursing home. Your mom was with you for a few years where you are? That's good. Yes, I did. Well, when I was 15, thank you for asking, but when I was 15, everyone in my family, my brothers and sisters, all took off. That was it. It's like I was the youngest by 9 years. So I kind of had the whole thing kind of rest on me. And at 15, I started doing their errands. I would be, you know, running down to the store whenever I could as soon as I got my learner's permit. And I had I got my ability to drive, and then I started doing all their errands, yeah. All right, so any other questions? Your whole family's with you? Are you traveling gypsies, Oma? You want to come live with somebody else? The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their understanding of their history.
Well, good job doing your work, 741. According to George Orwell, that quote was.
Yeah. Yeah, and stop attacking people. You know, you got a real problem. I mean, you're obviously transgender, right? Why do you keep attacking people? That's my question. David, what do you have against Sanders? Well, for one, Sanders is a socialist, and he's borrowing all his ideas from an ancient bag of tricks called Marxism, and it's not applicable to the modern age with technology and the internet. And he wants to tax working men to pay for non-working men. Now, as much as I want to go after big monopolies, I'm not a socialist. As much as I want the government to compete in the free market, I don't want the government to have unfair advantage. And putting out plain wrapped generic food is not unfair advantage when every other marketing agent out there is pushing big advertising dollars into TV for you to buy name brand items. We're going to be packaging really wholesome food with a plain wrap. It's not like an advantage. Sanders is a socialist, and I'm not. Plus, Sanders doesn't have the dynamic nature of a young, youthful appearance. I do. I can be the face of America. And as the son of two Marines born in America, and I was born in America, I actually represent a good cross slice of the American population. And I'm certainly not a shill. I'm trying to spearhead brand new solutions for this country. What I'm trying to do is the unthinkable. Come from nowhere and lead the nation. I have a birth certificate available right now at americasthirdparty.com/about. And Sarah will give you the link right now. You can click it and go there. You'll also see my selective service documentation, which is not fake like Obama's is. Frank Kafka salutes me. Wow. You know, I don't have a large farm, so I'm focusing more on going at the heart of Monsanto. And actually, as your president, I will task the Justice Department to launch a lawsuit against Monsanto on the grounds that they cannot genetically patent organic substances, organic products, or organic organisms. Anything with carbon in it. And I will use the recent Supreme Court ruling that you cannot patent the human genome as precedent in that case. And we will win. We'll free up small farmers from being attacked every day by Monsanto's powerful lawyers and attorneys taking their farms unless they pay up for the seeds that they didn't even order. No, I did not live with my parents my whole life, no. For years, I was living in various areas, apartments, van. I actually lived in a van down by the beach in Venice, California. I tried to try alternative lifestyles to see what I liked and meet a lot of people in various situations that were very, I guess, poor would be the best way to describe their situation. Yeah. And please don't say anything negative about me. I really don't want to be looking at chat calling me a name. If you're here to attack us, then you're not going to really spend much time in the room. I didn't have a master's thesis. I'm completely honest. And what do you mean you've uncovered the truth? Everything I've said is completely true. What are you saying? Be honest. I've always been honest. No, I would never. In my early days, like 18 to 21, I did have quite a few relationships in a short period of time. But then right when AIDS came along, I stopped. You know, I don't need to step up my game because this isn't necessarily the election I'm worried about. Ironically, I'm in this for the long haul. It's when you are willing to step up your game, when you're willing to actually do something to get me on the ballot. This is all about positioning. And I'm positioning myself in a place where either you want an honest president or you might as well just accept whatever you're going to get. I did my cooking for my parents at the age of 15, yeah. In fact, I started cooking for my parents at the age of 10. I did all the cooking in the house most of the time. And I remember my mother said, "David, you're taking over my kitchen." I said, "Well, I mean, I'm doing all the cooking here, so I guess it is kind of like that. Yeah, I did take over your kitchen." Well, you're out of here, buddy. Yeah, they weren't taking care of me past a certain age, I assure you. Wow. You're just coming in here to attack us. Put him on the permaban list, okay?
Got it.
Thank you. You've been permabanned. All right. My mother was very jealous.
Thank you, 7418.
No, Sarah and I are not brother and sister. No, Oma's a woman. Guest 741 says, you're one of the few people that is legitimate in this site. A lot of people in this site have low integrity. Wow, thank you, 741. I appreciate you telling me that. We've always maintained our integrity throughout all of this. It's something to really support.
754, what Dave is saying is if you want to get him on the ballot, you need to put forward the effort to get him on the ballot.
Yeah, like I said, if you don't want to get me elected, you're going to get a shill. You're going to get a complete crony of the political system we have today. Yeah, I heard about Paula Deen, and I still support freedom of speech. I don't know what the big deal is here. Our president just used the N-word last week in a podcast. I mean, you need to really lower the bar on your oppression of freedom of speech here, because frankly, if you keep oppressing freedom of speech, you're going to sound like a Marxist. Yes, we will do a show every night from the White House, no matter what channel it'll be on. We're not sure.
Well, 6 nights a week.
Well, 6 nights a week. We take a day off.
Maybe 5? I'm sure David will say 6.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with blackface. I never did, simply because it is part of our American history, much like the Confederate flag. And that, too, is protected by freedom of speech. So everyone who's out there oppressing the freedom of speech of individuals in this country, they're the ones that are at fault here. They're the ones that are going to be called out. Any type of freedom of speech suppression under my administration will be dealt with directly.
We'll see, Nicole. I doubt that.
Yeah, the point of this show is that America needs an alternative. You're right. That's so true. I wouldn't even be running for president if I thought that you had honest people running right now besides me. I'm sure there are a few people out there that are, like me, just average people that are running, probably honest. But for the most part, the ones we know about, they're all hooked up. Scott Walker is receiving money from the Koch brothers. Ted Cruz is getting money from AIPAC. I don't know if Chris Christie is officially running, but he's already toured London and has connections there. I'm sure they're probably Masons. Jeb Bush, we all know his connection to the Nazis through his grandfather, Prescott Bush, who was a Nazi and a Nazi sympathizer. I'm not in any way a right-wing extremist or a left-wing commie. I'm a centrist.
No, we do not call the Cook brothers.
We would never take funding from the Koch brothers.
So,
No.
Tiny Marsh, I don't know what state you're in, but I've done quite a bit of research on all the ballot access laws in all of the states, and I posted the research that I did at the time on our website, americasthirdparty.com.
Yeah. So because we haven't had any kind of mainstream media attention, I had to go out on a limb, and it was my choice to do the blackface videos. Sarah had nothing to do with it, and I'm glad I did it. I'm really happy.
Not yet, 50877. You can be the first one.
If you don't assert yourself in this world and assert your freedoms, you won't know if you have them or not. We would love to change lobbyist rules.
What state are you in, Tiny Marsh? I'll post the link. Yeah, he's not even involved with that.
I'm not a part of any white supremacist group. I'm an integrationist. I've always wanted to help get the races together on many issues. You know, I don't think Barack Obama's done anything to help the African Americans living in cities. I think he's really kind of turned a blind eye to the problems, ironically. He hasn't stimulated the private sector in those areas.
Here's the link for you, Tiny Marsh.
Let me tell you what I would like to do. I have nothing to do with him. What I would like to do is, I talked to Sarah about this. You know, there's a lot of people in the inner cities that, play basketball and football. There's a lot of sports going on in inner cities. You know that. Well, a lot of people who work their hardest to become professional athletes never make it. But they're good. I mean, they could be making 25, 27 points a game in a college basketball game and not make the cut to the pros. So I, as president, am going to urge the NBA and the NFL. The baseball league already has the minor leagues. But the NBA and the NFL, I'm going to urge them to expand minor leagues and expand all kinds of conventions where people can play in the minor league and work their way up to the major league. This is a major, major change. And it's, you know what's going to do? It's going to help the economy, because a lot of people don't want to spend $45 for a game. They'd rather pay $7 or $10, and they'd rather get behind a local player who they really root for, that they'd like to see go up to the major leagues. So I'm going to encourage the NBA and the NFL to expand their opportunity for people in the inner cities. Because there's a lot of people who play basketball and football in the inner cities that really want to move up. I'm not talking about just white people. I'm talking about everybody of all colors. Hillary deletes a tweet of her shaking hands with the man who had white power tattoo. Wow. She deletes her tweet. Wow. Okay. But when we talk about building a third party, we are talking about an unbelievable, unparalleled task in a country that's censoring the media and telling people that we have a free and open society that actually limits democracy. Like when my signs were stolen in the recent election, 90% of my signs were stolen. They were stolen by Democrats who are limiting democracy, yet they claim to be Democrats. I mean, the whole thing is upside down, and we've been lied to. The truth is, this is not a free and democratic nation. Far from it. This is a controlled, mass-mediaized, propagandized, and dumbified society, where people are kept constantly at the edge of their wits, trying to meet their minimum payments because they want to buy something new because the TV set says you got to buy something new. Yes, this is live. We're constantly being diverted from actually focusing on politics because they keep us doing everything we could possibly imagine. Video games, I mean, whatever. Well, the fact is we've got fascists in the Democratic Party. We've got fascists in the Republican Party. We have commies in the Democratic Party. We really do have people that want to control their power and keep their fingers stuck in control of our country while they screw up the entire nation. Literally, not even passing a budget in the past 5 years. Please, any kind of demoralizing statement is just lost. Everybody who sends hate mail about me missed the whole thing about doing an impersonation video of Barack Obama. You know, I'm going to stand here and defend your right to call me a name, simply because I believe in free speech. Seriously. But do not, because you're so stupid you don't even understand satire, do not accuse me of being a racist, because I am not a racist. I've never said a racial slur in my life. Well, if we don't pass a budget at this point, if we don't get rid of the waste endemic in our system that is clearly tied to the two-party system and all their cronies that get them reelected, then you, the voter, can't make a solid decision. Obviously. I know. You know, I don't care what you determine white to be. That's not important. In fact, it's not even important we call each other a color. Okay? Can we just eliminate the color talk? I don't color code my library. I don't color code my laundry. I don't color code my entire wardrobe. So let's not color code the entire American people. Okay? Thank you. I can't do that beer right now. Sorry. I don't drink beer, actually. I don't drink anything.
People think they fixed the electronic ballot boxes. What I'm more concerned about is all the ballot access laws.
Yeah, same here.
It's ridiculous.
No, I dance with Sarah. She doesn't dance for me.
I should dance for you.
I was dancing on the show the other day. I was like,
I
hey,
know.
you were dancing.
I didn't dance. Yeah.
High fives then. Anyway, yeah, I have had a beer now and then, but I'm not a person that likes alcohol. I don't like what it does to you. I mean, how can you possibly like having your head swimming in circles next to the porcelain goddess vomiting your guts up? Is that a good feeling? I mean, seriously. How do you like waking up in the morning dehydrated and constipated from doing too much alcohol? I mean, it's like killing yourself. Alcohol is poison. But man, they sure make it attractive. We were walking around the markets looking at the alcohol bottles. It's like a trip to walk in there. It's like a museum. All those alcohol bottles.
I know.
When you look at the alcohol racks, it's like, whoa, the packaging. It's unbelievable. Plus the calories, yeah. Marijuana is something I support. So as we talk about Truth Tuesday, let's not forget about legalization. It's a big part of our show. What this is a symbol a guy came up with. We're going to go ahead and pick. Where's that coming from?
Probably the other one closest to the thing.
Ah, yes. Drone drops burgers. You want to watch that?
Either way, I guess it's okay. I would rather put it over there, though. That's what I usually see.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. It's exactly what my food aid thing is. Remember when I said I was going to bring food into areas? This is even better. This is how I want to distribute food, like when the situation in Nepal happened. I'd kind of like to... Yeah, I'm going to get it.
This over here.
Okay.
Hi, Stevie.
Yeah, food drops. Not necessarily drones, but I mean, I can see dropping a large amount of bags of food, water, like this, over areas like Nepal. You know, 8,400 people died then, recently. A lot of them died because they couldn't get supplies. Mad Cat. Bobby Hamilton. What's that about, man? And that's important. Okay. Mad Cat. All right. During times of a universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. George Orwell. Yeah. Okay, this is the most critical time in our history. 5 days to save Greece from the abyss warn European leaders. Okay. Well, I think it's kind of admirable that Greece is finally telling the EU to go take a flying hike. It's kind of amazing how it's taken all these bailouts and giveaways and bad management and all the cronies that got them there to find out the truth that their government is corrupt. They need to solve that problem first, and they can't possibly keep getting loans and expect to get out of debt. I mean, how is that possible? It's ironic that all the EU wants to do is keep throwing money at that country in order to keep them part of their fledgling New World Order plan to take over the world. Ironic, isn't it? Yeah, we heard about Bill Cosby. It helped when a college basketball coach came forward about Bill Cosby's rape. Wow.
I sold proof. And what is this Stevie video you're linking?
Well, one, Greece is going to walk away from a huge amount of debt and to discover what is called solvency.
Okay, I'll have to look at that later. Oh, Steve's like, what money? Okay.
You can imagine what solvency is. Have any of you ever been out of debt? Is there anybody here who's out of debt besides Sarah and I?
Maybe we'll do it at the end of the show, Stevie.
I'm gonna bet that 85% of this group here is got money owed on their credit cards.
Post to 0 if you have 0 debt. Everybody type in how much debt you have. Don't forget to calculate your mortgage, your car payments, your outstanding credit card debt.
You have 400 owed? Good. 2,000 you owe? 20K. Hey, Peterbilt, you're the truck? Okay, we got Peterbilt. He's a guy who claims he's a truck. What's going on, man? Do you own your truck, by the way? Do you own your truck? Do you own it outright?
Yeah, I do outright.
Do you own yourself? Are you paid for? You owe 20,000.
Yeah, I'm my own entity.
Okay. I denied your call because I told you need to go to a speech therapist because you got a serious speech defect, and I can't take your call because of that. I'm sorry.
I know.
Not you.
It's because I constantly...
Not you, Peterbilt. No, you're fine.
Well, can you just type the questions in?
Somebody else is
Men, no
I'm
name.
referring to. Not you, Peterbilt.
Men, no name.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what's your question? You're worried about your truck? I'm going to be running Hempoline on the truck, so
Okay.
we're going to be running a green fuel.
And why do you claim that you're a lawyer?
Yeah, why are you a lawyer?
Well, I just have a passion for civil rights, you know.
Yeah.
I struggled with myself early on trying to get my own rights because people said, "Oh, you're a truck. You can't do this. You can't do that."
Right.
And I got tired of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you want the civil rights to be given to trucks as well as people?
Yes, I believe. And like interspecies relationships, I believe in that. Love who you love, you know.
Interspecial relationships? What? You want trucks to unite and have sex or something?
Yeah, I want trucks. No, I want trucks and people to be able to love each other.
Okay.
Well, you sounds like you're a transhumanist, and I don't think we really want to talk to you because I don't support chips in our heads and trucks and hard drives and trannies and all that stuff, all that weird kinky stuff like trannies.
Oh, no, it's okay. I have an Allison 8-speed transmission. I'm not a tranny.
I was going to wonder, would you consider becoming a hybrid tranny?
You know, if that ever comes up in my future, you know, I might consider it. I don't know.
If the gas mileage is better?
If it's better gas mileage, would you consider a hybrid tranny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
We got a possible convert to the hybrid tranny. One of the things I want to do is convert all USPS trucks to a brand new transmission, which runs on regenerative braking, like the Prius, so we can save money. You know how many? Yeah, they run those vehicles really hard and they brake them really hard. So why not just use that braking power to save gas money?
Well, Men, no name, why don't you try to call in again?
Off a hybrid biodiesel and electric engine. That would be the most efficient way to do it.
Yeah, hybrid diesel/electric. Exactly. That's what Dave is talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Work on your
All right.
W's.
Are there any questions you have about politics?
Yeah. Where do you guys stand on the legalization of not just medicinal marijuana, but also growing hemp and
Yeah.
We believe in growing hemp and recreational marijuana.
Everything. Yeah, we support
especially
legalization.
for biodiesel. Or biofuel, I should say.
Hempoline is the key.
That's actually one of the first things that David wants to do when he's elected president is legalize marijuana for recreational uses, and that includes the ability to grow hemp, which isn't even related to the THC. It's more about all of the...
that's the male plant.
Yeah.
There's so much that hempoline can do.
When I get my rights to vote, and when I build a big enough booth for me to come in, you have my vote.
Okay. All right. We'll make sure that, maybe you can do one of those voting by mail or something. since you're a truck.
Okay, I struggle with my tires are too big for a pen, so I'll have to have somebody write for me, but you guys have my vote.
All right,
you,
thank
man.
you very much, Peterbilt. All right,
Peterbilt
take care.
99. He's a truck, everybody. Thank you. Good luck.
All right.
See you guys.
We got a call from a truck tonight. It's pretty awesome. We're targeting 2016 and 2020. Our pictures in the book are pretty cool. They're brand new innovations that I'll be showing you later in the week on Thursday. In the book, we have pictures that talk about ways of making money for the government that get fresh water and electricity.
2016. That's the election David's targeting.
2016. No, we will not throw anybody on the internet into prison if they're just doing, things that are not harmful to others. If you're a cyber stalker and hating on people, I would.
After 2 rings.
A Trump company may be relying on some undocumented workers to finish the $200 million hotel, which sits 5 blocks from the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue, according to several who work there. A Trump spokeswoman said the company and its contractors follow all applicable laws. Really? So Trump's ragging on illegals, calling them murderers and rapists and drug addicts, yet he's hiring them? Sounds a little hypocritical to me, doesn't it to you? I mean, seriously, hiring illegals and then calling them drug addicts and rapists and murderers? I mean, what a joke. Oh my God. What a unbelievable, out of control, loopy candidate he is.
Yes, there is 921.
Yes, Big Brother does exist. He already has implanted itself in your entire life. They're tracking your internet activity. The facial recognition occurs when you go to Walmart. They know who you are. They're merging with the Department of Homeland Security at 5 locations, building underground tunnels across the nation. Yes, it's true. Big Brother is here, and he's watching everything you do. And they even announced through the Edward Snowden release of false information and true information that the NSA is monitoring everything, including Skype calls. So this is a huge test of the American people to see if you're a person who cares and wants to stand up against it, or willing to just submit and become part of the board. I'm okay with transsexuals. Absolutely. Did I ever say I didn't like LGBT people? I mean, seriously. Have I ever said that? No. I did say, however, that the government should not be involved in marriage. You are the board. Resistance is futile. From the Washington Post article, at Trump hotel site, the immigrant workers are wary. Yeah.
No, Nicole.
Look,
Have that.
I don't personally want to impart my view on your sex life. Okay? Just because I'm a flagrant, flaming heterosexual.
I think that's an excellent idea, 2879.
I mean, I'm a vocal and out in front, completely forthright heterosexual.
How would it work? People would have relationships. The government wouldn't be involved in those relationships.
I think that's hilarious. Okay, so yeah, we don't even care what you do in your private life, personally. Your thoughts on turning shipping containers into homes? I love it.
Okay, this is No Name.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, No Name. You might need
I
to.
just want to say, you said, just before I started, you said something about you're heterosexual, but
I am.
you said homo, and then you stopped.
No. I was joking. It's a joke. And I like to joke with the group. It's hilarious. I've had a lot of fun with this group. And if I didn't have a chance to joke, that's my point. That's my point. If you are a homosexual, by all means, I support your rights, and I hope that no one discriminates against you. But I personally am a heterosexual.
The way I see it is, it's like TMZ of politics, like all these social issues.
Yeah, I agree.
Race issues and war issues. with every human being paying attention to, oh, I got to support my family, oh, I got to pay attention to these small drama type stuff, that type of mindset is then put forth within their political views and worldly views.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Every politician is paying more attention to what that type of mindset does. So it's like, I think it's a corrupted way of thinking. And it's a little deep, I know, but I think really politicians and everybody need to pay more attention to not mainly the issues that are just a fraction of like the time that our existence has ever been, but I mean, what's going to happen when the next ice age comes, or when a meteor is about to hit the Earth? I think what I want to hear is your full support with science.
Okay.
Well, I know you said you didn't want to fund it or anything.
Well, not unless I can get a return on investment. I love science.
I think that what's needed more is to educate our students with science, because then we'll be educating the future scientists of the world, and it's really about teaching our students to think like scientists.
Yeah.
But there's a problem in America, though. It's this religious science. You can't be a scientist and then also religious.
Actually, I always have been. Since I was a freshman in high school, I was arguing with my biology teacher, who was, of course, talking to me about evolution. And I said, well, why can't both exist? Why can't, if you are religious and you want to think of a higher power existing out there, then, it's really, I'll just say this, it's really miraculous, I'm going to use that word, to have all of the exact requirements in place for each evolutionary step to happen. So I've always believed in both, and there's this incredible quote: every new discovery in science is a further revelation of God. And I've always found myself drawn to that quote, because it's really, there's so much amazing things out there, and so much that we don't know how everything works. Now, science, the thing about science is science has to be replicable. That's really what science is, in order to understand the world around us.
Right.
But certain things, it's
science.
Certain things people don't understand, and what
a lot of things, and a lot of it, and the problem is just people paying attention to a book that was written 2,000 years ago. We see a lot of people's motives around the world that lead to violence is this religious type view. So
but I don't think religion is necessarily a bad thing, because
like
the definition of religion is a way to explain the unexplainable in culturally relative terms. And some people worship science as an end-all, be-all, and that can become, in a way, someone's religion in and of itself. Yeah, but I'll just say, I do believe in getting people to ask questions, getting people to test their hypotheses, and really realizing that some questions cannot be answered with a science experiment.
This is true, but yeah, and then that's when it's like the God of the gaps. You just
exactly. If you want to call it the gap or whatever.
But this is getting really religious. But I just think that what is your opinion of NASA? What would you do?
I personally
with
think
NASA?
I know I personally like the idea of NASA, but I also feel that in most cases is actually the opposite of how I feel about NASA. In most cases, I feel that the government should solve problems themselves, as they have been doing with NASA in the past. And now I think that the opportunity to open that up to more privatization is here, and it's opening it up to realize that there's so many intelligent people out there that don't necessarily need a government paycheck, but really finding out, hey, these people can actually help us get further into space. Now, there's a lot of different theories out there that are concerned that perhaps the Van Allen belt is an issue that we still need to address.
I mean, the history of our understanding of things is so small. So, I mean, looking out for things that could happen 1,000 years from now, I think would be, because it's going to come here, it's going to get here quickly, you know. We're going to die, and then the other next generation is going to say, oh, you know, let's deal with these small world issues and forget about it. And then boom, there goes the human race.
Well, I personally think, you know, that it's not that there goes the human race. I think that we, as our own individuals, we have to do the best that we can while we're here. And I don't think that the human race is going to be gone anytime soon. That's what I personally believe.
I mean, yeah. Well, my thing with NASA is, I think the good thing that the government is leading in research, leading in creating new things. If you privatize it, then these private companies they want to be safe, and they want to do what's going to make them the most money. But spending money on something that requires research and they don't really have an understanding on would be a high risk for them.
Well, that's the point. So can I interject here, because obviously we need to get money back for NASA. We've thrown tons of money in. Even the space shuttle was going to be an opportunity for us to travel in the outer atmosphere below the ionosphere and go on trips. Well, they phased it out, and they handed all the technology over to Richard Branson and SpaceX. So now we aren't seeing any return on investment. They're using our infrastructure that our forefathers have put money into and never got anything out of. So we will turn a profit from NASA, and I will fund science and research and development in all areas, but it has to be focused. Like I said, I want an Andromeda team to solve and cure cancer 24/7.
Funded through the NIH or through NASA, but an Andromeda team.
I'm a firm believer that, you know, government is really good at funding unknown, you know, like very high risk research, more than a business would. You know, okay, there's SpaceX, yes, and I mean they've created these unmanned space shuttles that are reusable, more efficient. But they're using, if you will, old technology, with just the way rockets are made and everything. I mean, that's nothing new. It's just been privatized, and it's kind of out of NASA's hands. So, is it a way for NASA to then refocus on newer research? Possibly. I don't know if that's even been explicitly told yet.
Well, of course, we're going to be engaged in
that. That funding NASA is huge, especially if you want to impel the younger generation to just have that mindset of, like what is about the unknown, and just wanting to get into science. I feel like that's really important. And with the whole, like, there was one a few years ago, it was like, oh, the defunding of NASA, everybody's freaking out over it. And then what happened? SpaceX came out of nowhere. Was that linked? I don't know. But
yeah, it possibly could have been. I mean, they could have been waiting in the wings to just come out and fill it. I mean, they could have, who knows, SpaceX could have actually lobbied our Congress to defund NASA so that they could have step in and fill the void. That's a possibility.
I mean, they are creating a more affordable rocket, as opposed to what Boeing has made and other competitors. I think do y'all know who the contract is?
What is it?
With Boeing and another company.
Oh, are you talking about not Lockheed Martin, but usually Boeing and the name escapes me. Usually it's a foreign company that always goes against Boeing.
Right, Airbus. Airbus is the one that just lost that plane. I'm saddened by the simple fact that we've got contracts that are rolling over every year in the military-industrial complex that literally are sucking our budget dry, and overcharges by all these companies. The F-35 just failed a test against the F-16 in two key areas in flight dynamics. I can hear the flush too, and basically the EU is going down. I keep saying that in our show. The European Union is finally receiving the inoculation of truth in its arm, because you can only expand credit so long and keep giving freebies out to corrupt government officials in Greece or in Spain or any other country until the people start realizing they've got a problem. Even Haiti's a classic example. They've received close to $3 billion over the years, and they've managed to get no support for their people, and they continue to live in palaces at every level. Yes, let me show you what the seawater pipeline is all about, everybody. This is a plan to save California and anywhere else in the world that's facing drought conditions. This is a plan where seawater goes in the center of these modules, and these modules are about 7 feet by 11. And evaporation occurs where the water evaporates on the inside of the dome and drops into the troughs on the side. And those troughs are pure, 100% pure H2O, free of any salt. So we're going to convert the massive amount of seawater as much as we can. You know, obviously, the Earth is covered with 72% of its surface with seawater, into more potable drinking water and solutions to our planet's emerging drought. Now, this idea can be exported to other countries until they duplicate the idea, but that's fine. We're not about proprietary control. We're about saving humanity and providing products that will ultimately solve the world's problems. I'm really trying to build this whole plan because there's no other way we're going to do this. If we put together systems that require fossil fuel, like down in Santa Barbara with the reverse osmosis systems, or distillators like they have in Dubai, which run on oil, we're going to run out of money and oil and fossil fuel eventually. But the Ocean Pipeline Project will continue working because it doesn't require any fossil fuel at all. We will move the water into these chambers using renewable energy systems, solar energy pumps, wind power pumps, and we get this water to desalinate automatically and drop into its reservoir, and we can draw from that reservoir anytime. It's a very pragmatic solution, and once it's built, the project can span everywhere from like San Francisco down to Bakersfield. That's one line, and they can spread out and become a matrix of seawater desalinators. And these seawater desalinators will be an amazing solution for this country. It will provide guaranteed fresh water regardless of what's happening in these skies. I don't care if they're flying chemtrails over the skies. It won't affect how much moisture we produce, because all it relies on is pumping that seawater in and the sun up above. It's a guaranteed solution for human survival and an expansion of geography around a nexus of water, which has always been a clear solution to the incredible population problem that's facing the Earth. We can expand as long as we have more water. Waves won't affect it, bad weather won't affect it, it'll be all strapped in, augured down. Everything will be earthquake proof on a rolling bed of gravel.
This is not sitting on a wave, by the way.
No,
This
it's sitting on the land.
On the lands. We pump in the water from the ocean.
We have a site you can go to and find out about, oceanpipeline.com. And if you go to the site, I'll give you the link. I'll show you what we're talking about. It's a land-based system that's linking modules together one after another.
Every droplet helps. 5709.
So this solution is not the Democrat solution. This is our America's third-party solution. The Democrats don't have a solution. We have a solution for California. All along this area, the line can be dropped, and I can build it in 6 months, because this is all very portable modular construction and can be plug and play and can solve an incredible problem facing our country. It's a pipeline project. Check it out, oceanpipeline.com. That's our site.
So how much does it cost? What does it cost to implement?
Each unit will cost around $1,000. The materials, it's not too expensive. They're very lightweight. You can even have them in your backyard, and we can export them to your home. Say you want to, you're living near the ocean, you want to go collect water and desalinate it yourself, you could have one in your backyard. The government could actually sell you one. Seriously.
It seems like something the government would be against, the local government, because that kind of cuts into the utility.
Screw local government.
Yeah.
We have to think big. We have to solve this problem. If you listen to the utilities and the coal and oil lobbies, we're going to be paying through the nose for everything. You listen to the local government, the public health department will shut down your sewer, and you won't even have a toilet by the time they're done.
Yeah.
Screw local government. They don't even understand the problem. They're so corrupt, it's unbelievable. I am living in one of the most corrupt areas of the country, Washington State, where their budget has literally gone in 8 years. Their debt in Washington State went from literally, thank you,
Hello, Oma's dad.
it went from 26 billion in 2008 to 90 billion today. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, thank you for calling, and I'm going to let you go for now, but you can feel free to call in at some other time. Take care.
Thank you.
Yes. This project,
All right. Okay. You can call back again tomorrow to talk about that.
Oh man.
So, yes, so that was the seawater pipeline, and it's really, I think that there are some local people that will really glob onto these ideas, and perhaps even, like some people said, they will take them and run with them. So. All right. No, I don't think so, 741.
We should have a volunteer legislature in every state. Every
So
state
you
should have a
just heard
volunteer
David.
legislature. There should be no paid positions in government at a state level. I believe state offices should all be donated time. I seriously do. We've got career politicians in local government that's turned the state budgets into a disaster, and it's causing our nation to completely go topsy-turvy. Literally, California, $542 billion in debt now. It's unbelievable. So yeah, local government sucks, all right? It really does, and it's screwing you over. They'll put moratoriums on your property if they don't want you to build on it. They'll try to shut you and your individual business down because they're going to hit you with local regulations. Government should all be voluntary. I totally agree. I would be willing to do this job for free if it wasn't built into the Constitution that a president receives money. I'm serious. It's not that I'm after any particular amount of money here. I'm not a career politician. I just see a problem and I want to fix it. That's just in my nature.
All right. Thanks, 1576. If you want to chat, you have to come into this site. But if you don't want to chat and you just want to go watch it over there. That's fantastic.
Is Rachel Dolezal going to run for governor of Washington State? You know, I probably could fix your car. I probably could. I can put my mind on something and I can fix it.
Just have to have the right tools.
Yeah. Well, what you need to do is deflate your left tires. It's pulling to the right because your tires are too full on the left side. Did I solve your problem? Go check it out. See if it works. Make sure your right tires are maximum pressure.
That is pretty hilarious, Laura.
It'll fix your car. I'm fairly sure.
Yes, Mad Dog.
U.S. Mint runs out of silver on the same day the price of silver plunges. Look at this. We've talked about a manipulated silver market, and now we're seeing it up close and personal right now at zerohedge.com. Wow. So leaked documents showing FBI, DEA are buying spyware. This is bizarre.
They're
Okay.
from an Italian company.
Wow.
Or at least they were until yesterday when it was leaked. Well, when the Italian company was hacked, and then they've asked them to suspend their services for now, so they could get ahead of the attack.
Yeah, well, Greece is facing the same problem our country's going to be facing rather soon. They're just stage one of where we're at right now. We haven't even gotten to stage one. In the aftermath of the latest breakout of the Greek crisis, Europeans across the continent, not just in Greece, scrambled to buy physical gold and silver. During June, we experienced twice the expected demand for sovereign bullion cubes or coins from our customers based in Greece. Other dealers have comparable experiences. Most of our common gold coins are sold out. So when the price of silver goes down, the U.S. Mint suddenly runs out of silver. That would normally elevate the price of silver.
Normally.
But because there's so much paper silver in the market, it's been altered. COMEX, New York Mercantile has been altering with paper silver and paper gold. They've changed the dynamic, and the silver and gold market don't respond like you think it would respond. You know, this is not a campaign based on fear-mongering. We are providing solutions to all the problems that I'm labeling every single night in our show. I live on a $5 per day food budget right now. Obama's budget per day is probably close to $7,000 for him personally, between his brewery and his special caterers and all of that. You know, the shield of blackness is beginning to dwindle. Thank you, guest 215. Barack Obama is going to be open to attack verbally, especially once he leaves the White House. He probably, if I were president, I would initiate an investigation into his birth certificate immediately. But we need to work on the country. We can't just linger back in attacking his birth certificate. We really need to move on. But clearly due process has not taken place. The Supreme Court refused to take 18 cases challenging his birth certificate. Everything about him appears to be a lie, including his Social Security number. So clearly we've got a lot to be concerned about with Barack Obama and his shield of blackness. Yeah, and I would much rather spend $50 billion on American roads and bridges than giving it to Iran to create a nuclear weapon, which is what John Kerry and Barack Obama are trying to do right now. Hey, you know, when I said screw local government, I really mean it. Yeah, we are dealing with the biggest corruption at the local level. It is happening. That's what I'm talking about. I couldn't even run a local race. They stole 90% of my signs and slandered me in the foreign press. I'm serious. They don't want anyone with great ideas. They want to suppress the messenger, stop the messenger at all cost. Don't even address the message. Just stop the messenger. Obama is a Chicago-style thug, and you need to research what he is and how he's operated for the past 7 years. You're completely unaware of his style of non-negotiation. Speaker of the House Boehner said it was like negotiating with a bowl of Jell-O. Obama is the worst leader we've ever had. In fact, he's guiding our nation toward a disastrous depression. And he's single-handedly pissed off Putin, engaged in war with foreign nations across the globe. We are right at the verge of World War III because of Barack Obama. So don't stand here and talk about what a great president he is. You know, the Democrats stole my signs, and the Republicans. So I'm not going to stand here and just accept the idea that local government needs to work it's through its differences. Local government is a sponge that's sucking us dry.
Yeah, exactly. 373 ruined our relations with Russia. You lived long enough to see a credit union in your town move from being a voluntary organization that ran well, the local community supported it, you were able to use it for when they were stuck, to now this employee-based system that requires people qualified or experienced in banking to get the jobs. Now there's no motivation to help the community. Wow. Interesting. He took on a $10 million on new projects to control artificial intelligence. That's really interesting. I'll keep that up for David later. Not yet, 5709. Oh, a court official confirmed that no public disciplinary proceeding has been brought against them, so they could reactivate their law licenses. It was just so they didn't have to take all those continuing education credits. That makes sense. Probably Bish. I don't know. Oh. I don't think so, 921, but I don't know. I've never been there. Okay. When people care and get the opportunity to help, they often do. I agree that not everyone is motivated by money, and that, you know, people can be fine. You can find out what people are really motivated by. So the gun used by the Mexican illegal immigrant when he allegedly shot a 32-year-old woman at the San Francisco pier belonged to a federal agent. It's not clear how this person got the weapon. The gun had been stolen during a car burglary in June. And this Sanchez guy pled not guilty. So this guy, Sanchez, claims that he found a gun wrapped inside a shirt while he was sitting on a bench at the pier smoking a cigarette. He picked up the gun and it started to fire on his own. And he heard 3 shots go off. Just a weak argument. Totally weak arguments. I would have to say, I'll give you a link for it, Penman. Okay. Yeah. No one's running a washing machine. That's pretty interesting. Everybody should enjoy their life. I agree with that. If you just want to drink more, it sounds like you might have a problem with alcoholism. So a private plane and an F-16 jet collided over South Carolina. 2 people were killed. I wonder if it's probably 2 people were killed in the small civilian aircraft. You've been sober 5 days. Maybe you need to go to a meeting. That's what I would say. Get someone that can talk to you, that's been there. They can keep you from drinking. Isn't there something in your life to live for? That's a good, mad season is good. Well, I think if you're feeling suicidal, I think you should give it another try. Well, live for me. You never know. I will say that I have had some very dark times in my past, and I've decided that I would never take my own life, and that I'm here for some reason, and even though I might not understand the reason right now, then eventually it'll happen. And then maybe I won't know the reason. And sometimes I still struggle with that, Bish. But you have to realize think of all the people that you bring happiness to on this network. I mean, there's so many. No, I didn't grow up in a mansion. There's so many people even on here that really are like enamored with you. That's what I would say, Bish. You know how many people would miss you if something were to happen to you? No, the thing is, Bish, that the people that are saying that, there's 2 types of people on here. There's people that are telling you that you're ugly and all that say, oh, and that encourage you to hurt yourself. But the real thing is there's another group of people that are completely enamored with you. Like Nicole says, everyone loves you. They really are, they really like you. I mean, I like you. I've never have sent anybody else's t-shirt of mine, a shirt. I sent you a shirt. So I like you. Look, Drag King is offering to send you a bus ticket just to get you out of whatever physical environment you're in, just so that you can realize that you're a beautiful person. So, I would just say you need to love yourself and realize that you are a wonderful person. Well, that's the thing, 544. You have to love yourself. Probably confusion, because she was confused, because she was looking at words on her screen with everybody telling her to do different things. No, Bish, you're not going to do that. So, alright, 544. Fair enough. Good point, as usual. 544. Bish, don't stop thinking. I want you to stop thinking about yourself and think about how you can go and help somebody else, because there's somebody right now that's in a lot worse situation than you. So buck up and go think about how you can help somebody else. I mean, you have a room, you obviously have a computer. There are people on the street right now that don't have a computer, that don't have all these things. So you helped bunnies today. Good. Can you help those same bunnies tomorrow? Do I believe in equality? Why is it okay for guys to be topless and for women to not be topless? I think that neither men nor women should be topless here on this broadcast. Good. So think about that every day. You're going to go help those bunnies, those wonderful bunnies. All right, 916, I can give you a little of time too. Now, yes, so I think that everyone should wear clothes. No one should go topless, men or women. You fed some bunnies leftover corn? Fantastic. That must have been fun.
Okay, I'm back.
You gave your bunnies away and then you heard they had babies? You don't have to choose to be a politician, but if you do, I'm glad that David's inspired you.
Yeah, definitely. Put your name in the race. If you really want to jump out there on a limb, become an America's Third Party member, and we'll help support you on our website, on your state page. But frankly, if you run right now, just run as an independent in your area. See what happens. Mr. Anderson.
Well, I'm glad that you have internet access and you can watch my show, 6099. You're living off bread and free fountain water at public places and parks. Wow.
Nice. So you're getting a little bit of bread from stores? Wow. That sucks, man. Well, let's figure out a way to get you on track. I mean, is there a local community outreach program for you to actually get maybe a workforce group? Workforce is what we have in our area.
We are blessed, aren't we? 7122.
Well, if you're at McDonald's right now, that's probably the only place you're going to get some support. A bathroom to wash up. Yeah. And don't keep supporting all these other people that don't really matter, because they don't even have a clue as to how to save this nation. Yeah, none of them have a clear message like we do. Homestead renewal plan, legalization of marijuana, mobile medical units in every city. I mean, nobody has that.
Club.
We are the only ones with this plan for America. So don't support them. You're wasting your time supporting them. In fact, because they're cronies in the Democratic or Republican Party, I know people need more help, and that's why I said screw local government. I don't think they're helping people at a local level. Our entire national composting plan, our homestead renewal plan, all involve jobs in your area, working for the U.S. government. You'll be a U.S. government employee. At the national composting plan, it'll be a U.S. government job. Seriously. I do want the government to create jobs, unlike most of the Democrats. Ironically. They don't even understand the mechanism to gain traction in our economy. These are people that have no clue as to how FDR actually helped our economy grow. When Barack Obama said he didn't think the government was responsible for creating jobs, it was because he didn't even understand the mechanism by which we grow. That's how sad that is. We have a president who doesn't understand the mechanism by which an economy gains traction and grows. We have a president with an IQ of 102.
Nice job, Omar.
I mean, I'm really sad to tell you, but you chose a guy who doesn't even know what he's doing. Now, this article right here is your link to Obama's IQ, if you want to verify it. Go ahead. Latest scientific evidence for God's existence. Nice. Interesting. The God concept. You know, the Intelligent Design Group still has kind of a strong potential following. Not everyone is an atheist who believes that. That's cute. Not everyone's an atheist who believes that we all just, we're just here and then that's it. Some of us actually derive our purpose in life by a sense of faith.
Yes, Mahatma Sandals. David's here.
I definitely want to be a person who shakes up this entire system and makes it run better. We can't get it to run right when we're just draining out on all different levels. We are a boat floating in the ocean, and we're sinking. And there are people in our government that are drilling holes in the bow. In the stern, where the engine should be, we've got a hollowed out piece of a bureaucracy which we're overloaded, and it's kind of dropping in the water because it's so heavy. So what we need to do is cut the waste at the government level by red tagging and yellow tagging key areas of misexpenditure. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow night. We need to get a control over certain key aspects of greed, which is like a draining thing that's going on. So all the contracts that are up for bid every year will be completely scrutinized in my administration by forensic auditors that will go deep into each one to find corruption, overspending, padded budgets, pork barrel spending, anything that we find, and then we'll present them to Congress and say, hey guys, are you willing to cut this? And if they say no, I'm going to say, okay, well, C-SPAN's going to be at your door tomorrow for an interview. And I'm going to be on screen with you to interview you and your constituents and poll you on C-SPAN and basically put that Congress under the grill of my media, the C-SPAN media, which will be more like an infomercial where people will be in their face going, hey, why are you really spending $100 million for a bridge to nowhere, Mr. Stevens, former Congressman Stevens? Anyway, in their face. We have to get more in their face. Otherwise, we're never going to get cuts. And they're never going to think they can cut because they can always keep getting reelected because you people keep voting for Democrats or Republicans every single time. So you keep telling them it's okay to be corrupt. We'll keep voting for you. Continue sucking our tax dollars and giving out money to illegals. Yeah. Give all the money away. Just let it all. Just go. And every time you vote Democrat, Republican, you're telling them that it's good that you're corrupt. It's good that you're an alcoholic. It's good that you like to suck off all those corporations that suck you dry and go on those trips with the lobbyists and go on the Bahamas on expense accounts. The IRS itself was caught in a $40 million sting last year, and nobody in the news really covered it. They were literally contracting They had $70 million designated for all kinds of perks like a strip club. But did that appear in the news? Maybe just a blip. The IRS, a strip club in a corporate building. That's what they're using your tax dollars for. So this is out of control. Completely out of control. Yeah, 40 million for those people. I know, and they're taking your money and going for an IRS strip club. I know. Well, then maybe you're right, but they're not the right of the IRS to charge you, the taxpayer, to have a private strip club in a corporate building. I mean, hello. I mean, this should be common sense, folks. I mean, why are we just voting like a group of lemmings when we clearly have to forge forward and create our own party and shake the living daylights out of these people? Yes, my hair is real. I mean, I was born with this hair. I keep telling people it's real.
Yep, he's blonde, blue eyes, and tall.
And I was a former body surfer at Redondo Beach. You know, in some ways, I kind of wish I'd been, you know, a lifeguard down there. They're making $105,000. They're retired at my age. You know, I should have just been a lifeguard.
I'll tell her, Mahatma Sandals. Bish, Mahatma Sandals wants you to go back to battle camp.
Maybe battle cam's your new medium. Yeah. Think about it, man. Ma'am. Did I call you dude, Bish? Sorry. Listen, dude, check out that other network.
She said that was too crazy.
You're saying I never worked a day in my life? That's absurd. I worked all my life. I don't stop working.
You don't stop till you
Don't stop. You can't stop till you don't stop.
Until the sunlight.
You know the lyrics?
A little bit.
You do know the lyrics, don't you? Okay, well, let's play the lyrics. All right?
Is that it?
Come on.
That's not it.
It's not it?
That's the come on one.
Come on. Well, where's the don't stop one?
I don't know.
Maybe
You
Scissor
gotta
Fight will
play
get me
through
that one. Come on.
Looks good, 540.
Please vote for David Sponheim.
Watch your head. There's going to be some strange creature next to it. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, baby. Yeah, check this out.
G, baby, G.
President Obama scores 102 on his IQ test. Lowest in presidential history.
This coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim.
Unbelievable. Okay. Legalize marijuana. That'll solve things.
I think I gotta go. Good night.
Good night. Hang on.
I like the music. What, you need coffee?
I'm good.
You need to go.
Okay, Sarah's gonna go now.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
You said
Oh,
this is the
baby.
song.
Oh, that's it. Okay, thank you, Scissor. I'll copy it. Thank you, Sarah. Take care.
David Sponheim, for president.
Okay, good night, Sarah. That's been special having you on tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
Come on!
And the other one we're going to play is this one. Come on. Thank you, Mayhat.
Mahatma Sandals.
Can't stop. Mahatma sandals? My sandals are my hot sandals.
Mahatma Gandhi.
It's Mahatma sandals. Can't stop. Can't stop. Can't stop.
So let's be clear.
Well, let's be
In this
clear.
coming election year,
So let's be clear.
please vote for David Sponheim.
Thank you.
Party.
Yeah, I've been to the West Coast. I used to live in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, that's a real interesting city. No one knows each other. Well, that's a generalization. At least I'm not like Trump and call them all criminals or worse. Good people in California. Good state, too. I love it. Too bad about their governor. Can't stop. Can't stop. I like this song, yeah. I need to work my abs. Can't stop, can't stop. Okay, now we raise the intensity. Stop, can't stop. Okay, we're going to talk about Fukushima.
In this coming election, vote for David Sponheim.
Thank you, Scissor Fight. And now, the biggest ecological disaster in human history, right before our very eyes. Let's talk about the truth about that, shall we? That's the truth. It is the worst ecological disaster in U.S. history, world history. This is it. I think I'm going to burn my face here. Ah! It's that bad. Yeah, 6 swimming pools filled with radiated material every single day pouring into the ocean at Fukushima. Fantastic show. Thank you very much, Rodney. David, do you think Fukushima was planned or was it just careless? Well, that's a tough question. Does it matter? If I thought it was planned, would that matter? We still have to fix it. That's a good point, Seath. You won points there, big time. I love it. Thank you, Seath. You're winning my respect instantly. And Scissor Fight, that's a great song. You nailed it that. Can't stop till you don't stop. I love that song. In fact, I'm going to download that. As if I should have done this last week. I think it's lost in the shuffle. I got to give it a real number. Yes, shout out QK. What's the question? Let's go golfing. You just want to drink beer and go golfing? And that's just sad, see? All right. We'll talk about the Fukushima crisis in just a second. Open containing folder. Remove containing folder. Drop into Dropbox. Audio. Storage. Rename. Scissor Fight. Okay, it's in there. Thank you. Talker. Okay, you crap talker? What? David, what is happening? Did you... What? Come on, I told you not to do that. Whoa. What's happening there, dude? You've been disfigured pretty bad there, dude. Are you suffering from a serious, mental problem from the disfigurement? It's almost like you have radiation burns on your face. Dave Bot. You don't stop till you can't stop. I'm the Dave Bot. Can't stop, stop. I'm the Dave Bot. Dave Bot. Can't stop. Artificial intelligence, always out of town. We're gonna do what we're gonna do. I'm the Dave Bot, Dave Bot. Okay. I think we got it. Okay, thanks. That's great. Whew. Wow. Okay, moving on. Oh, any IMs for anybody? Nope. Oh, yes. Shadow. Okay. Yep. 707. Your ATP is our number. And operators are standing by. Okay. We're up and running. If you want to call in, feel free. Okay, let's talk about how we're going to deal with this crisis in Fukushima. My plan, of course, has always been to get the government of Japan to accept the fact that TEPCO has failed. That's a big start, and if we can get them to do that, then we could proceed. But I have a plan to actually block the bay leading to the Pacific Ocean at Fukushima and use something large. It doesn't have to be the USS Forrestal, but it's just one of those ships that's still being broken down in Galveston. We can tugboat it over there and block it. And with no man on there, no person will get hurt. And we can then begin the process of healing, which is to suck that radiated material out of that mountain slowly. But how do we actually stop it? Well, we create a mountain over the top of it. And that's something that can be done with land movement, land robots, John Deere tractors or Hitachi tractors running robotically, building the mound up over reactor number 4, where the 1,200 spent fuel rods are breaking down. You'll call in sometime. Okay, thanks you, Shadow. Yeah, we basically bury it, cap it like we did Chernobyl. And Chernobyl is actually doing very well. And then we cycle water back on this, along this water wall I've created visually, bringing water back in and putting it through a fast breeder reactor, reducing 97% of the waste. And the best part about this is in order to get the dirt around Fukushima, to create like a large ravine so that water doesn't run into the reactor vessel, we actually pull the dirt. The beauty of this is we pull the dirt all the way around, and the refrigerator unit that they just tried to install can stay. Keep trying to refrigerate the ground in between the reactor. But we use that dirt, and then we create a large trough to prevent any kind of leaching of water down that 5% grade. That's what the topography of the area stipulates. It is a 5% grade. All radioactive, yes. This will cost approximately $600 million. I wish it would be a low price tag, but I'm looking long term. But ultimately, once the fast breeder reactor is constructed, that's part of the deal. It's under $1 billion. That's the good news. 600 million is a very good, fair figure to deal with the amount of robotics that have to be brought in there. And the amount of that aircraft carrier actually cost $2 billion to get rid of. So we could cancel the contract in Galveston with the $2 billion contract in Galveston and tugboat it to Fukushima. That'll cost $200,000. It's a small amount. So basically, a $2 billion plan to get rid of a perfectly good aircraft carrier becomes a $2 billion savings. And then we take a $600 million cost to build the breeder reactor, put all the land movement together, and voila. No more problem for all those dying fish. Now all the herring are dead. All the baby herring have died. There's no new baby herring in the Pacific Ocean. All the little sardines are dead. The blue tuna are infected. You realize that they're poisoning the earth, right? You got that. You understand that? Is this a shock to you? You know, I don't know if Xenatril has something, the latest innovation in ammunition. Oh yeah, they're calling it the world's most deadly bullet, and here's how it works. You know, that's a good thing to talk about on Technology Thursday. Night cloud, Fukushima scenery. Okay, we got pictures of Fukushima. Nice. Nice. What the hell is this? It's a landing pad. Hi. What's happening?
Hi, Dave. I'm just deciding whether I should join woofing, which is organic farming.
Yeah, I heard it's a gatherer of woofers.
Well, woofers are usually young people, but they can be any age. Any age is doing it, but you pay a fee to. Mexico, Costa Rica, and Belize have you can pay it all for $33, and you can go to Austria and woof. You work 7 hours a day, you get room and board.
Okay.
And you're pretty much a volunteer. I'm just deciding which country to pay.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay anybody to volunteer. Okay, let's take a removal of one person from the show, and I ban people that go against, what we're doing here, because it's the only way I can control the room. But thank you, and believe me, it's not personal. It's just that you had your head up your ass, and you need to pull it out of your ass and flush it down the toilet. So please, thank you. Yes, she was talking about becoming a woofer. The person who becomes a landed immigrant but pays somebody to actually learn to do organic gardening.
You get room and board, and you work on the farm to learn permaculture and organic. I'm just deciding.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay anybody to learn that stuff. You know, the Solar Research Institute in California, like I said, they have people like you working in their front office, and they live there, and
I
they.
just don't want to go to California. I want to go to.
I know, but it's a
place.
cool place. It's just one of the nicest places.
Foreign places, but it sounds really good.
But Solar Research Institute is amazing, and they have an internship where they pay you to be there. It's not like you're paying them.
It sounds good.
Thank you. No, you cannot mod for me because I don't have any mods. I'm a mod-free guy. Scotty, beam me up. I'm sorry, Captain. That's illogical. Spock, I thought you're dead. I'm still making money. All right. So this whole thing is a concept of solving the problem using around $600 million, saving $2 billion in the process. It's a simple plan. It's not that complicated. I mean, I just solved the problem, so. But once we get all the oceans cleaned, we won't have to live in a state of eternal hell. But if we don't do that, we're going to repeat the same old mistakes of the past, and we're going to see, you know, a reactor problem 800 times worse than Chernobyl. That's how bad it is. And I'm not saying this because I'm scaring you. I'm just telling you what's happening now. We're losing all of our ocean life along our intertidal zones. The entire ocean is dying. It's becoming a wasteland. But we can bring it back. Nature has a wonderful opportunity to return to its roots and bring itself back to fruition. We just have to give it a chance. And killing it with radiated material is giving me a bad hair day. Always ask me how bad the situation is, and I will tell you. Unlike the Democrats who want to avoid the messenger or the messenger, ask me anything and I'll tell you how bad it is. You're scared, dead water? Yeah, we're all scared. That's why I need you to get your butt in gear and talk about a third party. I mean, I should put this direct injection into my head here. But clearly the only way out of this situation is to create a solution. And a third party is an about face to the existing system. It basically says to all of the other parties, you're out of your mind, we need to change the system. You see, there's no other way to do it, to tell people that they've basically been wasting the American people's tax dollars and the American people's time, really. I mean, Obama and Bush have taken up, what, going on 16 years of America's time. And we've seen our country getting worse and worse. That's not to say you're not driving a nice new car, because there are lots of nice new cars out there. I'm really surprised and shocked and happy that you guys have all bought new cars. It's great. Yeah. No, you can't mod for me, and I'm not your bro. Thank you. Okay, this type of thing is what is currently wrong with this country. Politicians willing to sign up taxpayer dollars for OPP. Yeah, I agree. I will not do that. I will not sign taxpayer dollars for OPP. What's OPP? All right. Marijuana could actually cure HIV, and they're not making that up. I believe it. I believe that. I can believe a lot of other things. Marijuana has an unbelievable medicinal powers, and this is why I want to legalize marijuana. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who do we appreciate? A new study has shown that chronic intake of THC, the primary psychoactive ingredient in marijuana, can protect critical immune tissue in the gut from damaging the effects of HIV infections. Wow. Report that chronic THC administration was associated with greater survival of T-cell populations. So if you're a chronic THC user, Man, you're kicking butt on cancer. Right on. Good job being a pothead. That's great. So all you potheads who've been moping around going, oh, dude, I don't know, man. I just can't get my act together. Yeah, dude, but you're like the only one living who's not got tumors. Think about it. You're never going to get cancer. All those bowls you smoked, think about it, how wonderful that is. David, did you hear about Donald Trump said about a week ago he's blaming Mexicans for rape, drugs, and the Vatican? I know. Can you believe that, Senator? And you used to be a pothead? Okay. Well, let me tell you guys, basically, Donald Trump is a man who cannot fly under pressure. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the frying pan. And unfortunately, he put his foot in his mouth, and now he's trying to pull it out. I know. I mean, what the hell, man? And then he goes to the California coastline to pick up one story where one woman's killed by a guy who got released. I mean, I'm sorry that happened, but come on, man. You're grandstanding. You're trying to cover your ass, your political ass, because you just turned your back on an entire country. Now, I just said screw local government. I just said screw local government because I don't like how local government's sucking your tax dollars dry. Voting for levies and bond issues. In my neighborhood, this is the truth, they put together a bond issue for 3 bond issues in 5 years. It's costing me an extra couple hundred in taxes every year, property taxes. But 3 bond issues. One was to pay $17 million for a high school, in which they didn't even put a heater in, the middle school, which is connected to it. So now they need another bond issue for $5 million to cover the heater issue. And I don't know what heater would cost $5 million, what HVAC heater would cost $5 million, and then I find out that the state of Washington wants to take all these bond issues and levies that came in, and the commies that they are, they want to put them all in a big central basket, in the collective basket, and then suck it dry and borrow against it. So they deceive the local people that they're going to get their things, what they want, into getting the bond issue. It's total deception, misleading, political misuse is what it is. President date rape will be elected. Yeah, exactly. I never had sex with anyone at Orgy Island. I did not have sex with any of the young underage women at Orgy Island. I mean, he isn't even answering. Bill Clinton is not even answering to the unbelievable truth about him and Jeffrey Epstein. And what about Bill Cosby? Oh, yeah. We're starting to get a glimpse at how corrupt the corrupt are. Ooh, yeah, you're starting to see how messed up the whole world is. And it's not cool. It's very screwed up that these people have become powerful, and they continue to use their power and hide all the little secret dastardly deeds that they do behind scenes. There's the K Street Group in Washington. This is the truth. K Street Group doesn't pay any property taxes, but they have free rent for congressmen, or very low cost rent, I should say. So young congressmen, impressionable congressmen come in there, and they think they're going to go to a party, right? Oh, you got to go to the party, it's great. Oh, pretty soon, some weird things are going on, and cameras are flying, and all of a sudden they got all kinds of information on people. I don't know where Orgy Island, it's called St. James. You might want to look it up if you're planning a summer vacation. Maybe if you're Jared at the subway, you might want a quick trip to Orgy Island, just to kind of clear your senses. Do you think Jared did it? Does anybody think that Jared's the guy behind this? Yeah. They recently accused Jared, the guy at Subway, of becoming of having a guy in his group that was a known sex child of pornography guy. Okay. Israel is by far the most racist country in the world? And that's not true. No, I disagree, Gummo. And you know full well you're the Nazi, so go away. Israel is the last standing democracy with the largest Arab population of the free world in the Middle East. I mean, what other nation could say that? I'm not in love with Israel. I definitely would exercise human rights, economic sanctions if they continue violating human rights, for sure. In fact, if Israel does not sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, I don't really see how we could give them the money they want right now. They have to admit that they have a nuclear weapon. And unless they do that, they're going to see cutbacks. So that alone puts them on the cutback list. Sorry to say. Bill Cosby's name was Will Sonepee? What? I don't get that. Is that funny? Take your pills. Yeah, you need to take your pills. Nurse, it's time for my medication. Help. Have you ever seen somebody on a Xanax? They literally, I mean, if you've seen people on Xanax, they literally go out in less than a second. I remember a guy I used to know back in my Hollywood days who took a Xanax right in front of us. And he literally fell asleep at the Norm's restaurant in Westwood. It was unbelievable. He literally, I was like, we had to drag him up and slap his, to say, hey, come on, man. He took one of the purple ones, those 15. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't take prescription medication, but it messes people up pretty bad. No, he just took the triple one. The purple ones are really strong. They're like 15 milligrams. Anyway, it was just, if we continue suppressing symptoms and having big pharma kill off our senses and destroy our libido, we're going to be a punching bag of corrupted, toxic waste. And that'll be our life. And you look back on your life and say, wow, that was a toxic life. Thanks. Some of you are drinking your problems away, and I understand why you're doing it, to kill the pain of working your ass off every day to meet the minimums on your daily credit card bill. That's the truth. Well, you're lucky, Zenatril, because that's a serious offense. Yeah. Well, that's because they got rid of the 15 milligram Xanax. Okay, Monkey Times, I'm predating you. I'm talking 1979 here. 1985. I mean, I go way back. I'm extremely old. Yeah, back in the day. How do you feel about the global white demographic collapse? It doesn't exist. Yeah, it's just a complete misnomer. You see, the reality is African Americans are dying at a rapid rate. Hispanics are dying at a rapid rate. Illnesses around the world are killing off their growth rate. As much as their growth rate may be 30%, their death rate is going to be 30%. White people are living longer. I'm just saying, if you say it's becoming lopsided, right now there's a majority of white people in America. It's in the 53 to 57% range. Depends on who you call white. But it doesn't matter. I'm not here to talk about color. Like I said, I'm not going to color code this show. I'm an integrationist. I don't believe in looking at somebody and calling them a person of color. I would never do meth or smoke crack like our president. Unfortunately, he's been a very bad example for Americans. Young Americans who are now experimenting with crack cocaine because of Barack Obama. I feel sorry for you. It has a recidivism rate of 97%. So the truth is, Barack Obama has a 97% chance of still being a crack addict. Can you believe I'm talking about our president? Can you even believe? I mean, fast forward to 2016 when he's no longer president and we have a new president, and we can look back on this as a huge disaster. I can't wait to just put this behind us. I really can't. There's nothing racist about the fact that he's a crack addict. No, nothing at all. He admitted it in his book, Audacity of Hope. He should have written a book called Audacity of Crack. You know, I've never weaseled my way into an office. I'm not a career politician. I ran for local office, and I'm not a weasel. And because I'm not a weasel, they cheated and took 90% of my signs. Oh well. Well, perhaps, but I mean, I have longevity in my life. My great uncle, his name is on record as the oldest living human being in the North American continent. His name was Fred Hale Sr. And he lived in, I believe, upstate New York. And he lived on a shot of Irish whiskey in the morning, every morning. He lived to be 114 years old. No, he wasn't a Sponheim. That's on my mother's side. I have longevity, much more longevity on my mother's side. I'm a weasel? And I'm blaming others for my downfall? No, 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 no. I'm an honest person with pure integrity who really wants to help this country and has faced nothing but violent opposition from mediocre minds. I'm a great spirit who's trying to guide you toward a better place in this planet. But you don't understand that. 98, really? That's cool. Fred Hale Sr. was a true American, yeah. I never had a chance to meet him, but he's a direct relative of mine. Okay, I want to look at the link for the, yeah, the link for the, did you put that up? Okay, well, I'm going to go to Delicious and pull that link up. Hang on. Okay, well, you can pull it up yourself. You don't need me to pull it up. Great video from Sir Waffles last night about a quote from Hillary Clinton. Okay, yeah, Delicious isn't working right now. Let me see if I can pull the video up and just show it to you. 97, really? Oh man, car wreck? What a tragedy, man. You know, there was a bodybuilder in Coney Island, New York 2 years ago that died at the age of 106 years old. And he was riding his bike and a van hit him. Some guy, drunken guy, a young guy in a van hit this old guy, 106 years old, riding his bike. He was a former strongman in the Coney Island era of the 1930s. He was like the strongman. And he's 106. He was probably still going strong at 106, seriously. He was kicking butt at 97, seriously. What a tragedy, man. He could have lived to be 114 like my uncle. Yeah, let's look at the devastation. This is still the exact location. This is exactly what they're dealing with. 3 years later, TEPCO still has not solved this problem. That's why I wanted to build a mound over it. And the spent fuel rods are 75 feet up in the air in that vat right there where the arrow is. And it's like a wet cigarette case. So pulling the cigarette or the spent fuel rods out is like pulling a wet cigarette out of a wet pack of cigarettes. You can't do it. So you got to cap it and slowly pull out the radiated material through perhaps slow flush methods, like using water systems to pull it through and then evaporating the water systems and using the spent material as fuel for a fast breeder reactor. Hello, supporters in China. Hello, happy time. Welcome. Our supporters in China. Wow, look at that. You know, I'm pretty optimistic that the U.S. and China can work together to solve the environmental crisis without creating a barrier for both of our countries, because both of our countries have different needs. They have 1.3 billion people in China. We have a lot of food production. We'd love to continue trade, and we would love to help any way we can with water, fresh water sources. So my seawater pipeline idea could be copied by China for all I care. It's an open source idea, and I want everyone to be able to get fresh water, and they could use it directly from all kinds of locations to help ease the drought in China. But China's not my problem. America is. I'm not here for China's solutions. I'm here to solve America's problems. And right now we've got a tremendous drought along the California coastline. It's getting worse and worse. Well, Zenatril, you got to move to Colorado or Washington right now. You can go to an actual recreational marijuana dispensary here and buy some really good stuff and do it legally. So if you're really into that, you're going to have to make a major shift in your life and make a migration to these states, unless you wait for your state to legalize it, or help me get on the ballot so I can help you legalize marijuana. I would love to do it. We got a lot of problems from a very deceptive person. Somebody said they came in, they heard Hillary Clinton talking on a phone recently. No, actually a meeting today, an interview. And she just won't answer any of the tough questions. It's all controlled. And whenever she's answering all the tough questions, she's like, I can't, at this point, what difference does it make? You know? She had an interview with CNN. Okay. A stoned president is a calm president. I like that. I won't get stoned as your president. I will, however, have a humidor in the White House with a continual vaping. The smell of weed grown in the rose garden, among the rose bushes. Yeah, so if you want to get like that momentary high, you'd walk into the humidor and go, okay, I'm ready to, seriously, it'll be safe, a lot safer than taking a hit or vaping. It'll just be kind of a momentary, whoa, and then you'll be out of there. No, she has no balls. She's basically an RFID chip joke, just like your president. The green room, yeah. I don't think reptilians are real, but if they are, they're shape-shifting simians who are interdimensional. How do I know? I don't even believe in aliens. You can't show me a picture of a legitimate alien. I mean, if you could find a real legitimate alien, I'd love to see one. I've seen the most legitimate out there. I mean, I truly believe this is perhaps the best video ever. Pretty cool. This is pretty realistic. And the facial features are very realistic. Look at how it twitches its face. See those eye movements? Yeah, we just run a loop of that. Anyway, I don't want to bore you. I don't have a link to that right now. It's just a copy of a 1957 Soviet encounter with blinking, winking. Don't fool yourself, it's winking at you. I tell you, I saw a lot of spaceships in the sky. I would say advanced weapons. Advanced weapons, yeah. UAV technology. Yeah, UAV technology. I'm going to say that if the 600,000 sightings of UFOs, and I have seen personally 50 to 100 of them in the skies above our country in 1967. A large number of them were actually moving in a vector, and they were not birds. I was one of 200 witnesses that saw this encounter in Orange County, California in 1967. It was like June or July. But MUFON has all these records of people who've seen all these discs in the sky, and it was very impressive. I must tell you, it did look like alien encounters. But I have yet to see an alien like this. So until I do, but I do support the full disclosure program, where if I do see or meet a real live alien, I will tell you. Meanwhile, we got Hillary to deal with, who most likely has a chip in her head like Barack Obama. I know that sounds a little far-fetched, but hear me out for a second, because the truth of the matter is Barack Obama has a scar on his head, and we talk about this nightly now, because I want everyone to know that the possibility of chips being installed in people is like completely there. I mean, anybody could open up your brain and literally stick a chip in it. So let's see if we've got. I believe she has a brain somewhere in there. It could just be large amounts of greed, though, you know. She may just be suffering from greeditis or something. Okay. She's rough as old leather shoe, really? So what are you saying? This is pancake makeup that she's wearing? Some of the gray, this is a lot of her complexion you can see is kind of rough. You know, you can't, even that's been buffed out. Look at that. There's all kinds of buffing that was done in that picture. You can see it. Wow, and that's buffed out. Zena thinks end of story. Is crack cocaine a time when punishments with drug... What? What are you saying, 917? David, did you hear Obama plans on releasing non-violent drug dealers? Oh, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah, dozens of those, but he's also released lots of Mexican illegals that are prisoners in our prison system. 40 drug offenders this month is nothing. I'm not that worried about that, but thank you. We do need to make space in our prison system because it's become overbearing. Error 404, brain not found. Okay, so we're going to remove the brain for a while. Okay. We're going to extract the chip memory from her just for the moment, and we'll bring up the Barack Obama scar picture for all of you who haven't seen it. This is not some sort of a gimmick I use in the show. I'm really trying to ask the big questions here. Why does Barack Obama have a huge scar on his head? Here it is. But these are numerous shots, and these are not Photoshopped. These are actual pictures of his head. So if he has a microchip in the head area, he would probably be in this region. That would be an approximation of his cerebral lobe in that area. All right. It's not photocropped. Everything's valid. I would never put you can see multiple pictures of his scar. They control him via a van parked nearby. If you had a chip, Dave, you would at least hide Obama in IQ. Well, pretend as though I'm Watson and ask me any question, and I'll try to respond as if I'm an audio animatronic presidential candidate. Feel free to ask me any questions. I was never abducted as an alien. What's next, Dave? Do you think Obama will release sex offenders? Yes. I think that's his next thing on his list. I think Obama's got reparations in mind for black people. When will the race war happen? There will not be a race war. The current levels of fluoride in our current water supply prevent people from actually having a violent thought. This technique has been used since the Roman times to eliminate any stressors in our society. It creates neurological impasses like fluoridation, reducing and calcifying the pineal gland, eliminating your thought processes. So the race war has been canceled. Go ahead. Okay, Ed, what's up? Yeah, go ahead, Ed, what's up? Okay, Ed's on crack, and he wants to know what to do with crack addictions. What are you a big crack addict or a little crack addict?
No, I'm asking about Obama. Where are you getting that Obama still smokes crack?
Oh, yeah, it's an Audacity of Hope. And you need to turn your radio off because I'm getting a lot of background noise from your speakers. But yeah, it's on Audacity of Hope, and he talks about he actually says, well, let's be clear. When I was in college, at Occidental College, I did have to experiment with drugs. And he says it right there, and he says, I was known to try crack cocaine by smoking crack. You know, I mean, this guy is a complete crackhead, ex-crackhead, whatever. And you are completely unfamiliar with it. You're not even familiar with the fact that he has a scar in his head. You don't even understand that either. You see how far down the rabbit hole you are? You can't even come out. Yeah. He has 2 scars, yeah. We have evidence of a neurological neuroscientist that said that this is definitely the scar from neurosurgery. Yeah. So yeah, he's had part of his head, opened up and looked at. But he's not the only one. There's a lot of people around the world that are showing these scars now, public figures that are big. So what this could be is very, very sinister in nature. It could very well be the signs of transhumanism infesting our entire public officials. Well, let's be clear. Jermaine, hello. Are you calling from England? Hello, Jermaine. How are you? Are you calling from England, Jermaine? Take a look at Prince William. God, look at that scar right there. What's going on with that? That's a pretty serious scar. Speculatio. Yeah. What about, hey, yeah. That's all I've got for you right now. Well, yeah. So here's an example. This is a great picture. Police back in the old days. When did this become this? When the local friendly police to protect and to serve become a SWAT team with commando units to back them up? I mean, seriously, what happened to America? Oh, he got hit by a soccer ball. Okay. You got a scar and, well, what, did you zip your pants up too fast? That had to hurt. Wow. Music time. Oh, yeah. We could go back to play that other music. Even bigger comparison, yeah. 1 out of 12, 1 out of 12. My name's Friday. I'm a cop. Los Angeles, California. A city. Yeah, there's all kinds of SWAT teams now, man. And somebody asked me earlier, what are you going to do to help get the black vote? Well, one thing I'm going to do is every month I'm going to meet with the Black Caucus and have an open discussion about their problems. Okay? And then I'm going to put together a complete solutions scenario for solving inner city crises. Police brutality, we need to specify that every city government that has a brutal cop who's been accused of more than one brutality case or one pending and has been determined by a grand jury to be a brutal cop should not be on the force at all and never receive any money and gone. Nixed. No pension fund, nothing. End it. Otherwise, we won't support any municipal funding to that city. Isn't that a good idea? It's a clear, solid, direct statement to the police and the police unions. Get your act together. Cop abuse will not be tolerated. Cops abuse their power all too often. Well, we'd like a black caucus at the White House. Okay? They'll all be invited. You know that Teddy Roosevelt was the first president to have an African American at the White House? Isn't that amazing? Booker T. Washington. And it was an incredible win for him, but then he got backlash from all of his cliche groups of white supporters, and he never had another African American at the White House. And that's ridiculous. I would invite people of all colors to the White House day and night whenever they want to, discuss issues. In fact, that they can go to the buffet. I'm not smiling, no. David, can you get the black vote by offering? No, that's just... No, Booker T may be a wrestler, but Booker T. Washington was one of the most infamous and famous African Americans in national history. You ought to look that up. Well, yeah, you like the new mic or what? Is it good? Better? I know, I'm going to bring the music, man. Don't worry about it. It's all cool. We can talk jive. Let's get down. It's called freedom of speech. Yeah, it's something that I also support, like the right to bear arms, the right to a speedy trial, the right to equal protection under the law. I mean, I kind of stand for what really matters. That's my whole thing in America. I really believe in America, and I totally support it. Can't stop till you won't stop. We're going to dance all night. All right. Yeah.
can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim, America's third party.
Okay, once they're all microchipped, everything will be just fine. Right, Frank? So we got a police state forming, and we got to stop it. If we don't stop the police state, it's going to take us down. Oh yeah, it'll take us down. Yeah. Computers, robocops, drones, RFID chips in our blood. Wake up. Wake up. Okay, so Paula Deen did a little thing where she did blackface a long time ago, and people are really upset about it. Stifling free speech, stepping on her rights is not cool. So this Democrat communist group out there and the fascist Republicans all want to install chips in our robocops out there and God knows what else. And this woman, Paula Deen, they're picking on her because she did a video.
In this coming election year, please vote
What's
for
the big
David
deal?
Sponheim, America's third party.
God, what's the big deal? This country's got to wake up. Top off. Can't stop. Okay, I'll play it. Booker T theme song and Titan Tron. Okay, I guess I got to make a video like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you. I'll play that privately when I, have some time. All right, as an open and flagrant heterosexual, I want all of you to know that I don't have a problem with gays. I really don't. The truth is, people can do whatever they want, consenting adults and all that, as long as they're not violating children or God knows what. But I also want you to know that I do have a traditional view about sexuality. The mic is cracking? Really? Okay. Let me pull it down. Is that better? Testing 1, 2, 3. No, I have a traditional view, but I mean, I want all of you to know that many of you people, may want to experiment. That's totally fine, but I'm not into that. So don't try hitting me up as possible threesome. Exactly, you're a Homo sapien. Thank you. The mic was almost going like Warbucks just now. Really? I'm not a sellout. I've never sold out to anybody. We made no money on any of this. Those are brain chips in all of our officers. Yeah, what about this do you not understand? You're living in a police state, and you thought you were free? You aren't free till you actually assert your freedom. Right. How do you feel about Canadians being arrested for depictions of underage girls? I don't know what to say about that. People that like to draw, you mean? Because there's an effort in Amsterdam to try to legalize very realistic, hentai or whatever it is. I'm not sure what that word is. Of some sort of child sex acts. So they actually believe in the Netherlands that it's helpful for the people who are really totally perved out. I don't think he is, no. I don't really think that's appropriate to have That type of almost realistic pornography. It's wrong. Sunstar, I thought you went to bed. I haven't gone gray yet. I did not know that holographic programs actually go gray. I will contact my creator and ask them if I should tint my blonde hair to be more gray. You have the song? Well, I just played that song. It sucked. I will ask the creators of my programming to change that to a gray tip. I don't agree. We should not clone people. We need to clone organs. We need more Wurlitzer organs and, Casio organs and things like that. No, I mean organs that would be replacement organs for our body. That's the future. But cloning humans as a harbinger of organs, no. We can grow organs separately from humans. More organs are necessary. A brain hat with a chip in it? Okay. Yeah, I give you overtime now. You ask for overtime, I give you overtime. More brain chips? No. I'm against the whole RFID thing and the brain chipping of our cops. And I want to say I do not want to install chips in all the cops. So you can tell your local law enforcement to support me. I'm against the cop chipping program. Shaw, yeah. You want more chips or more Dave? Okay. Okay, so we're going to leave those brains sitting there in cyberspace. Get rid of them one by one here. Knock them out. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, no! Scary, weird woman. Scary, weird lesbian woman with lizard tongue. Watch out. The brain has already been completely compromised using transhumanist microchip technology. I don't like Girl Scouts being exploited. I really don't. I don't like these fat women that are just sitting there going, oh, I think I'd like another raise this month on my paycheck, and if we could just get more of those cookies sold. Ooh. Yeah, I don't like that. Those girls are being exploited. And those chocolate chip cookies, oh God, are they good? They're almost too good. Mic is still cracking. Dang. Let me try something. Hold on. Fits like a glove. Wow, look at that. Okay, how's this? Better? We just put a big cover over the mic. Take a look. You getting a little turned on? Okay, here we go. Yeah. All right, windscreen. Yeah, is this better? Crack, crack, crack. What are your plans for presidency? Ghetto pop filter, man. I paid like 50 cents for this thing, man. Sounds better? Alright. Well, I can tell you that the AT2020 is fried. I'll try it on the laptop, see if it's good. It might be a good Rode mic still. Alright. I do a lot of things. I may stop in Utah on my trip. I'm not sure. The Rio trials are coming up July 15th. And I still have that power stroke for the 50-meter freestyle, I would be the only 55-year-old in the competition, though. Yo. Thank you. The tie rocks. Let me move this big, huge banner here. Yeah, that's great. What is your trip? I'm not sure. I'm still a little worried about Jade Helm. I'm not sure if I'm safe to travel. I don't think about that. I think that's terrible. If parents are going crazy and killing their kids and babies, it's tragic. If CPS could be trusted to protect those kids, that would be great. But right now, with the track record of 1,000 kids dying under CPS care a year, that's crazy. We're definitely going to not have gun control. I support gun rights, the right to bear arms. I will never have gun control. I promise you that. Click the link. Okay, brain chip. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. NBC News, brain source, brain clip. Let's see that one. Cool. Oh, this is, yeah, I saw this the other night. Great, let's play that. We're still talking about the truth of these RFID chips. Brian Williams.
More now of our special coverage here tonight, life in the U.S. in 10 years' time. By that time, there may be all kinds of new ways to safeguard and identify all those things that make each of us unique, our faces, even our fingerprints, even our eyes. Here now with more on the future of technology, NBC's Tom Costello.
The year is 2017. You're rushed to a hospital unconscious with no ID or medical history, but thanks to a microchip under your skin, it's all there. Science fiction 20 years ago, but a biometric reality today.
Wow.
Here in the centre of Stockholm, a new high-tech office building to start-ups and established companies like Google and Microsoft. There's one key thing about the technology of the building, and that is that people who work here can be chipped to gain entry to the building and various services. I've just been chipped myself.
They're already chipping employees at Microsoft. Wow. Going to the bottom. You said scroll to the bottom, Dave. Okay, here I am at the bottom. The gross national debt is $18 trillion. We can't afford RFID chips. End of story. Yeah, we can't afford those chips, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't want a police state forming, and I certainly don't want to be chipped. And I mean, my God, these transhumanists are disgusting. I agree. North Korea is going to burn in hell for doing that. Yeah. The whole country is really a living hell right now. I mean, you can barely find anything to eat if you're one of the members of Camp 22. And there's Camp 22s all around North Korea. Well, if some of you are getting chipped to go to work, I feel sorry for you. I would not work at a job like that. Putting it in your skin is insane. I mean, you realize they could control your brain, right? All right. You think Kim Jong-un is a great leader? Wow. Are you living under oppression right now, Walton? Foxman Sean had to get chipped to work at his job? Wow. No, they call those anklet bracelets when people, you know, commit crimes. You're confusing anklet bracelets with chipping. Oh, I know. Well, if you put a chip like an oak tree chip in your fireplace, it actually makes smoke. I tried that with my smoked codfish. It worked good. Yeah. Speaking of chips, you use mesquite. It tastes good too with pork. It'd be great to talk with a Native American like that, and all he talked about was simple things like that. I'm part Native American. Yes, chip used in fire. Okay, let's talk about something else, because this is insane. The Daily Sheeple war on cannabis just got one step closer to reality. Ending the war on cannabis got one step closer to reality. You know that Oregon has approved recreational use. This is cool. Ending the war on cannabis just got one step closer to reality. Okay, let's do the Daily Sheeple. There we go. Yeah, some good bud, man. That's some green indica, baby. Throughout the past decade, there have been many legal wins enjoyed by the cannabis proponents. The reputation of cannabis has been revamped, and its medical uses are known to the mainstream public. Despite Florida failing to become the 24th state to legalize medical marijuana in the last year's election by merely 2 percentage points, there has been a rapid rise in the number of states willing to give medical marijuana a try. Recently, 5 states have been experimenting with the legalization of marijuana for recreational purposes. Numerous studies have suggested that marijuana could potentially possess a number of clinical benefits, including the ability to reduce tumor size, remove or lower beta amyloid plaque levels, and to potentially even fight type 2 diabetes, a disease affecting over 20 million citizens in the United States. Isn't that great? But in 1999, it became a requirement for marijuana researchers to undergo a separate public health service review prior to commencing research into the benefits of marijuana for any indication. That was a breakthrough in 99. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. You get the whole point. Thank you. Thank you. I feel better now. And I'm glad that Bill Cosby has finally been outed. That's really good news. And Greece is probably not going to accept any European Union involvement, which is really great news. The breakdown of the New World Order is happening. So far, everything's going my way. I can't get over how things are falling into place. I could proofread quickly. I read pretty fast when I'm not speaking. Native reservations are an inexorable problem, despite all the money from BIA casinos. Senor Pod, you are right. I have seen firsthand how a white man has taken the Native American and given him bad medicine. I smoke peace pipe with anyone who is of Native American descent, like I am. Let us say this, that there are many people out there deceiving you about Native American culture. They do not get the support that they need. Your Officer Waffles, good night. Speak well. Yes. There are people that pose as Native American, like Elizabeth Warren, who claim to be Cherokee Indian. She cannot prove that she is from the Cherokee tribe. And she cannot prove that she received funding for minority status. She cannot prove her Cherokee lineage. We must stop these two-faced white women pretending to be Native American. This is not right. I say she be sued for fraud. This is Elizabeth Warren. Yeah. Well, I have some Native American in me. We have the Algonquin Indians in my blood, and I'm very similar to one particular image I'm going to pull up here for you. Yes, Tribe of Quebec. As you can see, I look just like this man. I think this show has gone on too long. Have we continued talking, or is this the end of it? Or are we going to go for another 20 more minutes? All right, let's take the Elizabeth Warren fraud off the picture, and we don't need that. And let's see, we need that, and there we go. Okay, anyone else like to talk about the truth? Well, we could talk a little bit about, we are in overtime. We can talk a little bit more about 9/11. I think that's appropriate considering this is Truth Tuesday. I'm going to show you a guy who absolutely saw no bodies when Flight 93 landed in the Pennsylvania.
Fire, some small fires in the woods, just small brush fires. The ground smoking, debris everywhere, pieces of metal, paper, insulation, wiring, and I just looked around and no people, and I'm thinking, where are the people?
Well, those people aboard Flight 93 who resisted the hijackers are now being remembered as heroes in the history of the United States for preventing a calamity from being an even worse one. Stephen?
Well, where were the people? No people. And from what I heard, it was just like garbage strewn along the side. There wasn't even evidence of a crash. Okay, this just in. Disney's removing Bill Cosby statue from the Hollywood Studio theme park. All right, Disney made a bold move. I'm not censoring anything. I'm just telling you, you want to end the show? You just walked all over my great after show, which I really like. Yeah, this is the time I can cut loose and be fancy free. And you're taking that away from me. It's just not right, man. Don't take away the only part of the show that I really like. You don't recall a disaster that had such strange effects surrounding it, such as 9/11, planes that looked like missiles, missing bodies. I know. Same here, Grud, KH. Thank you. Okay, well, that's not playing because it's gone to black screen. Unfortunately, they blocked out the entire show. So apparently Bill Cosby's statue's been removed completely. Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble, Roche. I mean, frankly, drugging women to have sex with them, 12 cases pending. That's pretty messed up. For a guy in his position, that's pretty messed up. Oh, sir, let's talk about Malaysian Airlines disappearance. It went through a wormhole into the... Oh, okay. Well, I'd rather talk about flight MH370. MH370, the Malaysian flight, is the flight that went down in Diego Garcia, but nobody found that out in the mainstream media. A guy managed to put a cell phone up his ass. You heard me correct. And pulled it out when he got to that fateful place where he was no doubt killed. But he managed to get a text message out of Diego Garcia where it was landed. These active cell phones were going on, by the way. When it was long gone and it was supposed to be underwater, they were still getting active cell phone messages from their phones like they were still on. So he managed to pull it out of his butt and managed to dial it. And this is a text message that you could not possibly tack. It actually went to an open server, redundant server, and it completely had the actual program code etched into it. It can't be hacked. It was actually right. No, I'm serious. It really did happen. A butt cell. But that story's been suppressed. So the truth is, a guy did land in Diego Garcia with that plane, and he did have a text message from a cell phone out of his ass. All right? Now, there's another truth that I want all of you to know that's pretty serious, and I talked about it at the beginning of the show. This is serious, not serial. The Airbus that crashed into the French Alps actually had all kinds of debris spewed along the side of the ground. Well, within an hour of it crashing, somehow they went to a remote area of the Alps and found the actual crash site, but they didn't actually release the audio clip. They claimed that they had a transcription claiming that the crash occurred because the captain was locked out of the cockpit. You remember that? Okay, here's some shots of the cockpit of this particular crash. Supposedly this is the flight data recorder. It's one of the most remote areas of the Alps. They managed to get there within an hour and transcribe it. It takes the NTSB 30 days to do this. I'm just showing you the pictures of the crash. Okay, 150 people died. I'm just telling you. Now, the truth of the matter is, there isn't one single picture or no one single audio file of the actual recording. of the captain being locked out of the cockpit. So how did they possibly find out that the captain was locked out of the cockpit? And a flight attendant had a key also. Thank you, Sister Fight. So clearly this is a cover-up of astronomical proportions. And it so coincidentally happened that the CERN reactor was 120 miles away, actually had a magnetic failure at the exact same time that flight crashed. So in order to evade liabilities, Interpol and other agencies probably worked quickly to deliver a message directly to a German newspaper that spread the word on the AP that they had the flight recorder and the data said this. But there's not one single, thank you, it's not one single audio clip of it on the internet. Now I challenge any one of you to go find one if you have time. And there's even an override, right, for the cockpit. So the whole story is nonsense. Make believe, you tell a lie big enough, and the truth is people will believe it. That's what's really sad. And you tried too. This is live, Crichton. I'm just trying to give you guys some perspective. They got a lot of photographs of the crash team as they arrived in the scene within an hour. But not one single audio clip confirming that the captain was locked out of the cockpit. So they just put a story out there and wanted all of us to believe it, and then it's gone. And I've got to remind you, this is a really important issue. Another truth that I think everyone needs to acknowledge. We still do not have pictures of a dead Osama bin Laden. And please don't tell me that it's because we don't want to trigger a terrorist reaction. I mean, we didn't have a picture of his sheet-clad body, you know, bubbling up from outside the North Arabian Sea when the Carl Vinson was used to drop his body in the ocean. Nobody on the Carl Vinson had a camera. Barack Obama won't show a picture of his dead body because he doesn't have a picture of his dead body. The man that was living there for about 5 months that they had set up as a fake Osama bin Laden, I hope he's still alive for his sake. I hope he just, I hope they give him some, witness protection or something. But this guy is not Osama bin Laden. He's not. This guy is an imposter. And every single picture from 2001 on of Osama bin Laden was not Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden is, and always will be, this guy, who looks a lot older, ironically, but he's supposed to be 10 years younger. So it just doesn't make sense, the whole thing. And why wouldn't we see a picture of his dead body? I mean, if you say it's because we don't want to inspire terrorism, I know some of you are saying that right now. I have to remind you that ISIS, thank you, ISIS is a terror threat, you claim. It was all fake. Yeah, the whole thing was. Thank you, Vern. Guess 712 knows. Yeah, that's Tim Osman, by the way. A known agent for the CIA, Tim Osman. You guys have done a lot of good work and research. That's great. But clearly the nose is slightly different. The lips are definitely different. Oh, you can see them side by side. It's not the same lips. And the eyes are different too. They're more sunken and oval. And it's almost like he's had some facial injections or something to make him look like that. But the makeup is not indicative of a Wahhabi. So a Wahhabi would never wear makeup like that, and Osama bin Laden was an Wahhabi. Wahhabi is the most seriously traditional form of Islamic faith. No, it's just a fact. You're an idiot. 946 is an idiot, and I'm banning him. Nobody seems to understand that if we don't get evidence of an event, we can't verify it. And the State Department never presented any evidence in international court when the bin Laden family sued Obama and said, where is the DNA evidence matching the decedent? They never presented it. All right. Without you calling me a doppelganger for David Caruso, who's your daddy and what does he do? I am not David Caruso's son. Just so you know. I've got people patiently waiting to watch a movie with me in the other room. And tonight we're watching a movie called Helix on Netflix. It's really good. We're in the last 3 shows. top quality entertainment, sci-fi entertainment. Helix. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste your time discussing anything else in the truth spectrum. But here's the David Caruso facial comparison that D.T. Laura put together. I do have similar features, but I'm a much bigger man than he is. I'm 6'4". He's like, what, 5'9" or something. All right, thank you so much for coming in, guys. I mean, I'm going to break up a little earlier because I don't want to leave people, you know, in the other room waiting to watch a movie. I'm not a CIA agent. I have no affiliation with the government or secret societies or corporations. So you guys going to be watching some movies tonight, or you can maybe chat with some of the other people in our room who want to open up their own chat shows. I'm sure some of them are really good. I'm 6'4", Walton. Yeah, I'm just glad the truth about Bill Cosby is finally coming to light. I'm really glad about that. The truth about Bill Cosby. Wow. I always got a creepy feeling when I talked to him. I mean, looked at him. I never met him.
Are because even today there are questions being raised. Now, we have a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
Good point.
What difference at this point does it make? What difference at this point does it make? What difference at this point does it make? What difference at this point does it make?
Okay, that's true. You know, at this point, what difference does it make? Well, because she's running for president, it makes a hell of a big difference. Hell of a big difference. And because we don't have any emails from you, Hillary, it's an even bigger difference. The fact that you so mindlessly support GMOs, yeah, it's a big difference for America.
They've got proof that she sold arms to ISIS.
They've got proof that Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, sold arms to ISIS.
And the Republican Party and the president.
Right. So they sold arms to ISIS. They put together a plan to virtually take over an operation in Libya and then export it to Syria. And because of her incompetence, resulting in the deaths of 4 Americans in Benghazi, just think what she could do as a president. She would destroy our nation. She'd be the final nail in the coffin. That's right. And I can tell you there's a lot of evidence out there that, there's a lot of evidence out there that she was involved with arms trades with Saddam Hussein. And many people don't talk about this. I'm one of the few people that discuss it. But when our government, authorized a shipment of chemical weapons to Saddam Hussein from the Lafarge Corporation, she was on the board of directors. Tell me that's not freaky. That's freaky. Now let me go look for that video. A lot of weapons production under her tenure as Secretary of State. A lot of military-industrial complex maneuvers, CIA, the whole thing. It's speckled with bizarre and strange twists. Yeah. So a lot of people are a little bit freaked out that she seriously wants to think that it's her turn to become president. I mean, it's absurd. She would, at best, she would be the worst president, worse than Obama, and that's not saying much. At best. Time flies when you're having fun. I found it. Sorry about that.
C, C, and B.
Okay, is that it? Let's try the other one. There it is. Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry for the loud noise. Yeah. This is the quote that Sir Waffles found, and I wanted to play this video for you again tonight. I can't save the world, yes, but I want to save America. All right? At the rate that technology is advancing, people will be implanting chips in our children to advertise directly into their brains and tell them what kind of products to buy. This is a quote from Hillary Clinton. So folks, if you're seriously thinking about voting for Hillary Clinton, I urge you to vote for a third party instead. I mean, seriously. I mean, this is messed up, folks. Seriously messed up. Thank you, third party. Yeah, and thank you, Sir Waffles, even though you left for dinner or bedtime. Be nice, Peterbilt. Walton is a strong supporter here. Okay, Peterbilt, you're done. You can try to become a better person later when I unban you. Hello, Amy. Thank you, Walton. I hope you have a better night as a result of my ban. Feel vindicated. And Eustace, I think you are probably a robot. So when you say, give me a chip, I want to be chipped, you're either a robot or you've been living in Appalachia and you got serious Mountain Dew teeth. So I don't know what to say. Avoid the Mountain Dew, folks, if you are living in Appalachia. It's a serious syndrome. This is the truth. It's affecting a lot of people. Their teeth are falling out. I hope you realize that it's a dangerous drink if you don't do it, maybe rinse afterwards or something. Any of you living in Appalachia. All right, great. Well, bottom line is we cannot allow the depopulation of our society, and we certainly cannot allow the chipping of our society. And Hillary Clinton and Jeb Bush both represent the entire staunch oligarchy of corporate control over our society. They represent that. And they're trying to relive a dynasty of elections and nepotism and all these things where people, elect their children to office. It's the same old thing. It's the Clinton dynasty versus the Bush dynasty. And no chipped teeth anymore. That's right. I used to have a chipped tooth and I got rid of it. All right, I think we raised enough questions and did an after show. Talked about how marijuana could cure diseases like HIV. That's really interesting. All right, cool. That's very exciting. I think we're living in a time when we have some really good stuff coming. Legalization of marijuana, a home program that we're putting together at our party. America's Third Party has the Homestead Renewal Plan, so that you guys can have the dream of home ownership. A cleaner environment, solutions for industry, inventions that will solve the key problems facing the country. A better economy, where less regulations on small businesses are much better for small business growth and job creation. An infrastructure bank idea, which will offer 2% loans to U.S. businesses, hiring U.S. citizens at a living wage of $15 an hour. And a plan to get mobile medical units in every city, rotating around, providing low-cost health care to everybody who needs it, who wants to get a basic checkup to find out what they have so they're not going to die. Everyone's going to live a long life, and we're going to have a better country as a result of it. So things are looking good. I'm really liking the future picture of our country, as long as we have a third party and get away from this police state that the Democrats and Republicans are forcing down our throats. I know we're getting dumber daily, but we've got enough intelligent people out there to talk about a third party and keep this stuff going, man. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, you Ball Harry, for coming in. Don't drink your fluoride, folks. Filter your water. Drink fluoride-free water. It's so much better for you. I certainly hope so, too. I mean, Did I mention removing GMOs from our basic diet plan? That's another big important thing we're going to work toward. More organic food production. No fluoride in our municipal water system. Ending a radiation problem hitting the Pacific Ocean right now. I mean, we got a lot of things on our agenda, but it's possible. All of it's possible. Yeah, get distilled water. That's probably your safest. All right, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to play this video for you and say sayonara. Good night. See you tomorrow.